Chapter 1773. The moment the blood-soaked dragon emperor appeared, Xiao Chen instantly suppressed the other party in terms of aura. The sky above Xiao Chen's head, which had collapsed, rose at a visible pace. The situation reversed. The 8 attacking star venerate experts had their auras forcibly pushed back, only able to break through their defenses. Their originally ferocious auras were suppressed in an instant. The feeling of falling from a high position, the feeling of being at a disadvantage, was not something others could understand. Retreat! 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 Upon seeing the blood-soaked dragon emperor's grace, the 8 generals immediately cowered in fear. They did not know which expert came, but they were completely stunned and frantically retreated. The blood-soaked dragon emperor was carved from Xiao Chen's heart and soul. At best, he was only an early-stage star venerate. However, as long as the blood-soaked dragon emperor had even a 10,000th of the blood-soaked dragon emperor's charm, he would be able to suppress these 8 people, not giving them any chance to resist. Fighting 1 against 8 generals, this was the limit of what Xiao Chen could do. Even if it was the Wolf King himself, it would be impossible for him to defeat the 8 great generals on his own. Even if the 8 old star venerate generals were only small perfection early-stage star venerates, when they worked together, their strength was rather terrifying. Objectively speaking, Xiao Chen could not defeat them with his own strength. These 8 star venerates were not ordinary star venerates. Instead, they were capable generals that followed the Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan. These 8 people did not earn the title of generals for nothing. They had earned it by fighting the other pirate groups and the Divine Shield Army. However, they faced the blood-soaked dragon emperor, that Xiao Chen used his mind and soul to carve. The 8 generals' auras immediately crumbled, and they were suppressed all the way. To think that the 8 generals could not retaliate at all. Soon, their bodies were riddled with wounds. After about 7 minutes, one of the generals died on the spot. The blood-soaked dragon emperor chopped the corpse in half with one sword strike. Blood splattered everywhere, stunning and flabbergasting everyone. No one knew that such an expert was hidden by Xiao Chen's side. This is too horrifying. Who is that person? What kind of character is hiding in the grave sea? I have never heard of this white-robed bladesman before. He seems to be related to the Purple Flame sect. He is called Xiao Chen. Something's not right. Look at that blood-robed man. His aura was immense, and all sorts of killing moves were easily executed. He doesn't look like a living person at all. There's no color or spirit in his eyes at all. It's a puppet. Some of the invited guests were experts. They were very knowledgeable and quickly made out what was different about the blood-soaked dragon emperor. Stop! The Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan, appeared stunned. When he saw his 8 fierce generals being beaten to the point where they could not retaliate, he immediately shouted. Xiao Chen said coldly, Jiang Hengchuan, you are really shameless. Now that you know how to stop, why didn't you help me when the pack of wolves tried to kill me? Back then, when you were toying with the black cutlass, why didn't you stop? Xiao Chen, don't think that I, Jiang Hengchuan, am afraid of you. Jiang Hengchuan was infuriated by Xiao Chen's words and immediately started cursing. Clang! In response to Jiang Hengchuan, Xiao Chen drew his treasure saber and pointed it at the other party. Xiao Chen's cold face showed no intention of compromising. Jiang Hengchuan, how long are you going to be a tortoise? Since you are not afraid, then come and fight. Since you say that you are not afraid, then come and fight. Xiao Chen used the most decisive method to ruthlessly strike back at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, making him swallow his words, unable to say anything else. The guests were also incredibly shocked. Who could have expected that Xiao Chen would be so stubborn? Who could have imagined that a junior would call the existence that they did not dare to offend a coward in front of everyone? However, now that they thought about it, this Jiang Hengchuan was indeed a coward. From the very start, he never took the initiative to make a move. Jiang Hengchuan cherished his life. Even at the final moment, he still wanted to compromise with Xiao Chen, unwilling to make a move. Now, Xiao Chen forced him to the edge of a cliff, not giving him a chance to retreat at all. Many people could not help having other thoughts. It seemed like the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's doomsday was right before their eyes. What if he really lost? Thinking of this, everyone felt a chill, finding this extremely inconceivable. The matters of the world truly changed in an instant, the universe unfathomable. When the birthday banquet started, it turned out that the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, whom everyone believed to be invincible, fell so easily. Ah! Another blood-curdling scream rang out. Of the 8 great generals, another one had died. Jiang Hengchuan's lips twitched involuntarily as he faced Xiao Chen, who pointed his saber at him from the tall building. For the first time, he felt helpless. It's over. It's all over. Even if I make a move and kill this fellow, the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group will definitely be eliminated from the list after today. As someone in a high position, there were many competitors. Among the guests, there were many who were gloating over the misfortune of others. Even if Jiang Hengchuan managed to kill Xiao Chen by luck, others would kick him while he was down. When Xiao Chen pointed his saber at him, Jiang Hengchuan knew that he lost. I admit defeat. The Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan said helplessly as he looked at Xiao Chen. His voice sounded very aged and ancient. If Jiang Hengchuan had another chance, he definitely would not toy with the Black Cutlass, forcing it to the Grave Island Sea region, a forbidden land with a slim chance of survival. Xiao Chen stretched out his hand and beckoned. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor turned into an exquisite sculpture and landed in his hand. After sheathing the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor, Xiao Chen landed before Jiang Hengchuan and said coldly, "You are rather smart." Bang! Right after Xiao Chen spoke, he immediately threw a palm strike, instantly driving 10 cauldron force. This palm strike, which came without any warning, gave off a loud sound. Jiang Hengchuan vomited a mouthful of blood as Xiao Chen sent him flying. Bush, bush, bush. This action immediately angered several Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members. They all stood up and glared at Xiao Chen in rage. Don't move. Jiang Hengchuan stood up and wiped the blood off his lips. Then he raised his hand to stop the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group members. Bang! What answered Jiang Hengchuan was Xiao Chen's second palm strike. When this palm strike landed, it mixed vital qi and veritable essence energy, creating an even greater destructive power. Jiang Hengchuan did not block. He was horrified to discover that even if he did not admit defeat, he would not be able to do so. It seemed that the result was no different. The strength that Xiao Chen displayed far surpassed Jiang Hengchuan's expectations. After Jiang Hengchuan went flying for the second time, he was in an even more sorry state. All the bones in his body shattered, and his internal organs ruptured. Jiang Hengchuan vomited a mouthful of blood, which actually contained many shattered internal organs. The surrounding guests all sucked in a breath of cold air in fright at Xiao Chen's means. Against the Wolf King, who had already admitted defeat and had taken a big step back, Xiao Chen still showed no mercy when he attacked. Xiao Chen's decisiveness in killing inspired lingering fear. Bang! Before the Wolf King could get up, Xiao Chen sent another palm strike. After 3 palm strikes, Jiang Hengchuan was half dead. Jiang Hengchuan could no longer stand up. The remaining members of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group quickly went over to help him up. Seeing Jiang Hengchuan in such a sorry state, none of the many pirates who addressed him as brothers at the birthday banquet were willing to step forward and speak up for him. There are many things that cannot be ended just because you admit defeat. These 3 palm strikes are just interest. If even one person of the Black Cutlass dies, I will come back at any time to take your life. As Xiao Chen looked at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, there was no sympathy or pity in his eyes. One's path was chosen by oneself. If the Wolf King had only made a deal with the Black Cutlass, Xiao Chen would not have such a strong murderous intent. However, this Wolf King was just toying with the Black Cutlass, never thinking of handing the Iron Blood token to the other party. During the main banquet, the Wolf King even mocked the Black Cutlass, saying that it was seeking its own death and could not blame others. Xiao Chen, don't go overboard. My captain already admitted defeat. What else do you want? Upon hearing the threat in Xiao Chen's words, the pirates all looked at Xiao Chen with hostile gazes, feeling aggrieved. What are you afraid of? At worst, we will just fight it out with him, a life and death struggle. Jiang Hengchuan coughed intensely and said, All of you, shut up. Fourth brother, Hand the Iron Blood token to young Master Xiao. A life and death struggle? That was easy to say. Now, Jiang Hengchuan finally understood. Xiao Chun came prepared, one trap after another. The other party had calculated all of Jiang Hengchuan's reactions. However, Jiang Hengchuan did not know anything about Xiao Chen. It was impossible for them to fight to the death. They would only lose their lives in vain. One of the 8 generals showed an unresigned expression. However, he still took out the Iron Blood token and handed it to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen received the Iron Blood token and swept his gaze over the surrounding guests. Then he said, "Only I can take his life." Upon hearing Xiao Chen's words, Jiang Hengchuan heaved a sigh of relief. He knew that although the Wolf Smoke pirate group was finished, the lives of his remaining brothers were preserved. Chapter 1774. As Xiao Chen toyed with the Iron Blood token in his hand, he gave the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan a deep look. "Good luck." "Many thanks," the Wolf King said reluctantly as he performed a cupped fist salute. Whoosh! Right after speaking, Xiao Chen left the courtyard with a few flashes, heading back to his inn. Dressed in white, Xiao Chen stood out on the street. However, he appeared calm and unruffled, showing a calm expression without any fluctuations. He did not look like the tyrannical white-robed bladesman who caused a huge commotion at the Wolf King's birthday banquet earlier. When Xiao Chen blended into the crowd, aside from his conspicuous white robes, he did not look much different. When Xiao Chen returned to the inn, he was surprised to discover that his tea was still there. The flame on the tea set left behind by the waiter had not gone out, and the temperature had not decreased. However, the waiter had already gone to entertain other guests. Xiao Chen sat down and looked at the teacup. The white Time Glory tea leaves at the bottom of the teacup had already spread out. However, much time had already passed, and the tea was already cold, no longer steaming. One had to drink tea while it was hot. It could not be warm or cold. Only when the tea was boiling could one taste the best flavor. However, Xiao Chen did not mind. He drank the already cold tea and drank it in one gulp. It was slightly bitter, no longer having the original taste of the white Time Glory tea leaves. However, it had a different charm to it, giving Xiao Chen a deeper understanding of it after returning from a huge battle. "Young master, you are back?" The waiter's eyes were sharp. When he discovered Xiao Chen, he immediately rushed over. "I heard that someone challenged the Wolf King at the Wolf King's birthday banquet and is still fighting intensely. Is that true?" The experts of the inn have all rushed over. "Unfortunately, I cannot go over. I really want to see who is so bold as to even dare to mock the Wolf King." Xiao Chen put down the teacup and said with a smile, "Far at the horizon, close at hand." The waiter quivered, nearly dropping the teapot in his hand. By the time the waiter recovered his wits, he discovered that Xiao Chen had already left. Inside the room, Xiao Chen took out the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's statue. If the Wolf King didn't admit defeat, the statue wouldn't last long. Even if the statue could hold on, Xiao Chen did not dare to let it continue fighting. Not only did the carving of the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's statue exhaust his mind and essence blood, but it also drained his mind and essence blood. While controlling it, his mental energy was like a flowing river, surging and leaking out continuously. Others only saw the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor killing everywhere. However, they did not see Xiao Chen's mental energy drain. He unsheathed his sword and challenged the Wolf King. They seemed crazy, but they wanted to end the battle as soon as possible. They were prepared to die. The person who dared to pull the emperor down from his horse, even if he was willing to be cut into pieces, was exactly what Xiao Chen had just done. However, this Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan was indeed smart. He admitted defeat in the face of battle. He had managed to protect most of the Wolf Smoke pirate crew. According to Xiao Chen's original plan, he would not leave until he slaughtered the Wolf Smoke pirate group and killed the Wolf King. There was no doubt that as long as he was willing to pay the price, nothing would be a problem. After putting down the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's statue, Xiao Chen took out the Iron Blood token. Then his gaze turned grave. He only hoped that the brothers of the Black Cutlass were safe. If something happened, killing all the people of the Wolf Smoke pirate group would not help. Damn it! The Wolf King is right. What a bunch of fools. Why are we going to the Grave Island Sea region? We have to return alive. I have to give you all a good scolding before I can vent my anger. Xiao Chen's right hand trembled as he tightly grasped the iron blood token. Even when facing the Wolf King, his eyelids did not twitch. However, at this moment his hand trembled, feeling extremely powerless. The melancholy of that cup of bitter tea lingered in his mouth, not fading away even now. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. There was still no news of the Black Cutlass. Xiao Chen could not wait any longer. He prepared to find a ship and make a trip there. Grave Island Sea region. Not to mention going to the Grave Island Sea region alone without a pirate ship, even going to the periphery was akin to sending oneself to death. However, given the circumstances, Xiao Chen felt that he had to go. However, just as Xiao Chen was about to leave, he happened to see Luo Nan, Fei, and the others outside the inn. "Captain! Big brother Xiao." When Xiao Suo, Fei, and the others saw Xiao Chen at the door, they rushed over without caring about their image. They could not believe their eyes, thinking that they were hallucinating. The Iron Hand Yama laughed loudly and gave Xiao Chen a bear hug. Only then did Xiao Chen believe that they really returned. Xiao Chen counted. Luo Nan, Fei, Elder Tang, Xiao Suo, the Iron Hand Yama, and all the old members of the Black Cutlass were present. Fei's eyes turned somewhat moist. "Big brother Xiao, I thought that I would never see you again." Xiao Chen originally wanted to scold this group of people. However, his heart instantly softened and he could not bring himself to do so. He smiled helplessly and said, "Little Fei, don't cry. Let's go to my room." After entering Xiao Chen's room, Xiao Suo organized his thoughts and said, "After we came out, we heard that Captain defeated the Wolf Smoke pirate group. At that time, it was really delightful. To think that you were still worried about us and were definitely waiting for us. We rushed over day and night, practically not resting at all." The Iron Hand Yama sighed and said, "This time, it was really a narrow escape. We nearly could not return. That old bastard nearly caused us to die. Xiao Chen, you helped us vent our frustrations. Back then, when that old bastard saw me, he ridiculed all of us for a while." Xiao Chen immediately asked the questions that he had buried in his heart when he saw everyone. The group immediately turned silent. After a long time, Elder Tang said, "I am to blame for this. I already know where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is. However, we need the Iron Blood token before we can go to the Forbidden Sea." "So," Fei interrupted, "you cannot blame Elder Tang. At that time, we were thinking that we could wait for Big Brother Xiao Chen to go to the Forbidden Sea with him after obtaining the Iron Blood token. However, we could not rely on Big Brother Xiao Chen for everything. We felt that we could give it a try." Xiao Chen thought to himself, "So, that is the case. It is similar to what I thought. Indeed, the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is in a Forbidden Sea. One can go to the Forbidden Sea only with the Iron Blood token." Fei and the others wanted to give me a surprise. At the same time, they did not want Xiao Chen to follow me to the Grave Island Sea. They did not want Xiao Chen to share the risk. Xiao Chen wanted to blame Xiao Chen, but he did not know where to start. However, just at this moment, Xiao Suo's expression suddenly turned somewhat grave. He said, "Young Master Xiao, I have something to tell you." When Xiao Chen saw that the others' expressions were not quite right, his heart sank as he had a bad feeling. "What is it? Speak." "We lost the Scarlet Blood War banner." "Lost it?" Xiao Chen's expression did not change. However, he felt shocked in his heart. The Scarlet Blood War banner was a crucial tool for finding the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. If the war banner was lost, it meant that the treasure would be gone as well. However, Xiao Chen was very carefree. After his emotions fluctuated for a while, he quickly adjusted himself. If the war banner was lost, then he could only head for the Central Great Realm in advance. Should he go directly to the Dragon Race's territory, or should he go to the Yanwu Dynasty or the Tianwu Dynasty first and understand the situation in the Central Great Realm before going to the Dragon Race? However, he had to make a decision. "Big brother Xiao Chen, are you not angry?" Fei looked at Xiao Chen somewhat nervously. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and looked at Xiao Suo. "Don't be dispirited. In the end, Xiao Suo was the one who bought the war banner. It is not mine. There is really no need to blame yourself. You being able to return alive is better than anything else. There are many fortuitous encounters in the world, but we only have one life. I will say this very seriously, don't take such risks in the future. Xiao Chen's words came from the bottom of his heart. His sincerity warmed Fei and the others. After hesitating for a while, the Iron Hand Yama said, "Actually, we might not have lost it. Given my understanding of that person, I feel that he will return the Iron Blood War banner in the end and not snatch our things." When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt slightly stunned. There is more to this than meets the eye? What exactly is going on? After some thought, the Iron Hand Yama said, "Didn't I say earlier that we nearly could not return? Someone saved us in the Grave Island Sea region. At that time, Xiao Suo was using the Iron Blood War banner to fight. That is where the problem lies. After we were rescued, that person suddenly said that he wanted to borrow the Iron Blood War banner to take a look and that he would return it to us the next time we meet. The other party is very strong, and his pirate group is even stronger. Although he said he wanted to borrow it, there was no way to refuse." Chapter 1775. The other party was very strong? These words coming out of the Iron Hand Yama's mouth were somewhat unusual. After all, he had once been a member of the Savage Blood Pirate Group. What pirate crew? Could it be stronger than the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group? Xiao Chen asked in confusion. Fei, Luo Nan, and the others nodded slightly, indicating that it was indeed true. The Iron Hand Yama said, "It's the Iron Horn Pirate Group. In the past, there were 3 pirate groups in the Grave Sea that obtained the Iron Blood token. One was the Savage Blood Pirate Group, which is now the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. The last one is the Iron Horn Pirate Group." Iron Horn Pirate Group? When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt slightly startled. He seemed to have heard Ding Yuan say that the Grave Sea Pirate Alliance had indeed sent out 3 Iron Blood tokens. At that time, he only knew that Savage Blood and Wolf Smoke had obtained them, but he did not ask who had obtained the remaining Iron Blood token. However, this Iron Horn Pirate Group went to the Forbidden Sea long ago and has not returned to the Grave Sea for more than 20 years already. I've never seen the Iron Horn Pirate Group before. I've only heard about some of their deeds. They were the overlords of the Grave Sea many years ago. Then they went to the Forbidden Sea. This time, they are already a 6-star pirate group. A 6-star pirate group would have almost no hope of snatching back the Scarlet Blood banner. Somewhat ashamed, Xiao Suo said, "Leader, I'm sorry. If only I had not used the Scarlet Blood War banner back then. Otherwise, he would not have borrowed it." Xiao Chen comforted him, "Don't say that. It's enough that you're alive. If you did not use the Scarlet Blood War banner, you would have been wiped out long ago. We won't be able to last until the Iron Horn Pirate Group arrives." Xiao Chen did not have much hatred for the Iron Horn Pirate Group. It was natural for pirates to rob others. The other party was already very benevolent by not making things difficult for the Black Cutlass out of consideration for their old friendship. If Xiao Chen was ruthless and did not help, he would still be able to obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner. "Let's call it a day. How's the ship?" Xiao Chen asked. He was more concerned about whether the Black Cutlass was damaged or not. "The ship is fine. We just need to repair it a little. This time, we have gained something." He had found 8 stalks of ghost cloud grass and other natural treasures. It is enough to turn the Black Cutlass into a 5-star pirate ship. Xiao Suo said excitedly as he perked up a little when he mentioned the pirate ship. Bang, bang. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. It was the waiter who had come to look for Xiao Chen. "Young master, someone just delivered a storage ring and mentioned that it was for you. He even said something about congratulating the people of the Black Cutlass for returning safely." While the others were at a loss, Xiao Chen guessed. "It is a gift sent by Jiang Hengchuan as an apology. You may leave. Just say that I have accepted the gift." Luo Nan and the others exchanged glances, finding this hard to imagine. The Wolf King who had made things difficult for them 3 months ago was now apologizing to them. The Iron Hand Yama carefully sized up Xiao Chen. Only then did he feel shocked to discover that Xiao Chen's aura was no longer the same as before. Compared to 2 years ago, he was many times stronger. It had reached a level that even Xiaoqin could not see through. After all, he had broken through the bottleneck of Star Venerate in the past 2 years. Captain, did you really defeat the Wolf Smoke Pirate group by yourself? Even now, Xiao Suo still did not believe it. This was simply too surreal. Xiaoqin retorted casually, could it be fake? After saying that, Xiaoqin sent his spiritual sense into the storage ring. After a while, he withdrew his spiritual sense. Then he revealed a smile and said, this Wolf King is really generous. He probably sent half of the birthday gift back then. Spending money to buy one's life was nothing more than this. Xiaoqin handed the storage ring to Xiao Suo. Then he said, I'll leave this spirit jades and the birthday gift to you. Make the Black Cutlass a peak 5-star pirate ship in the shortest time possible. All right. Leave this matter to me. The Iron Hand Yama said, I have some connections with the pirate hall here. I can use them and be of some help. Xiaoqin nodded and said, in that case, I'll leave this matter to the two of you. Elder Tang was stunned. Then he looked at Xiaoqin and said, young Master Xiao, you do not intend to give up on the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure? Xiaoqin raised his eyebrows. Why should I give up? We put in so much effort. We have to fight for it, right? Giving up like this is not my style. Elder Tang immediately said excitedly, that's good. I thought that young Master Xiao would directly give up. Xiaoqin smiled faintly and said, come, I'll go take a look first. Let's meet up on the Black Cutlass. Let's go. Everyone showed smiles on their faces as they left the inn and headed for the port. Along the way, the group spoke about their experiences after they parted. 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. They still remembered the scene of their parting as if it was right before their eyes. In the blink of an eye, 2 years had passed. During these 2 years, Xiaoqin had grown a lot. His strength was no longer the same as before. However, the people of the Black Cutlass were no weaker either. The Iron Hand Yama successfully broke through to Star Venerate. Now, his cultivation was stable, and his strength steadily increased. When the Black Cutlass was a peak major primal core cultivator, he was already known as unrivaled within the same cultivation realm. This breakthrough was even more incredible. If not for the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group having 8 Star Venerates and the Wolf King being a peak early-stage Star Venerate, the Iron Hand Yama would not care about them. The Iron Hand Yama would not care about a regular 5-star pirate captain at all. The couple, Luo Nan and Fei, also had extraordinary fortuitous encounters. Under the cleansing of Xiaoqian's life juice source, they had already advanced to major primal core venerates. Although their improvement was nothing compared to that of the disciples of rank 4 sects, it was still very rare. With the two's talent, it was truly rare for them to make such improvements. Elder Tang's cultivation did not improve much. However, his beast-taming skills were even more exquisite and strong. On the other hand, Xiao Suo's improvement was rather startling. The life juice source seemed to have completely unleashed his potential. Now Xiao Suo had already reached peak major primal core. In terms of cultivation, he was practically the same as Xiaoqin. After about 7 minutes, the group arrived at the Black Cutlass. The appearance of the Black Cutlass had not changed much. When Xiaoqin saw it, he immediately felt a sense of familiarity. After entering the lower level, the group arrived before the immemorial demon soul formation that he cared about the most. At the core of the formation, the Yazi beast carved on the formation plate already had 3.5 stars lit up. This is the greatest trump card of our Black Cutlass. Once the Yazi beast demon soul is released, it is an existence equal to a middle-stage star venerate. If not for the Yazi beast demon soul, we would not dare to barge into the Grave Island Sea region. Elder Tang sighed. Then, he continued, unfortunately, the trouble we ran into was too big. What trouble? We ran into a flock of underworld ghost birds. They were only middle-stage star venerates, but their abilities were too strange. They could make their bodies immaterial. The Yazi beast demon soul was outnumbered and killed in the end. If not for the Iron Horn Pirate Group's captain making a move, it would have been destroyed on the spot. Xiaoqin exclaimed in shock, is that Iron Horn Pirate Group's captain really that strong? The Iron Hand Yama nodded and said, He gave me the feeling that he should be a late-stage star venerate. Elder Tang and the others could not make out the captain's strength at all. Late-stage star venerate? That was already an extremely horrifying cultivation realm. Right now, Xiaochun could barely protect himself against a middle-stage star venerate. If he clashed head-on, he would lose in less than 100 moves. After advancing to star venerate, with every increase in cultivation realm, one's strength would undergo a tremendous change. This would result in a qualitative leap. The difference between early stage and middle stage was like heaven and earth. Without using his trump cards, Xiao Chen's current strength should be on par with that peak early-stage star venerate Wolf King. He would not be able to truly contend with a middle-stage star venerate, much less a late-stage star venerate. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. It looks like I need to break through to star venerate before going to the Forbidden Sea. Right now, he was only a step away from the Cloud Sea realm and could advance at any time. Xiao Chen already condensed the will of soul. He did not face any bottlenecks when advancing to the Cloud Sea realm. It was just a matter of time. After advancing to Star Venerate, Xiao Chen could formally cultivate soul energy. He could also cultivate the Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber Technique's third move, Entering Hell. He could use this opportunity to break through to the 11th layer of the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation and start cultivating the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art's 4th layer. Xiao Chen urgently needed to raise his many cultivation techniques and martial techniques to Star Venerate before they could improve. Just at this moment, someone suddenly rushed in at the entrance to the next floor in a fluster. "Captain, it's bad. The Iron Horn Pirate Group is here again." Chapter 1776. Come again? Xiao Su'a and the others immediately looked at Xiao Chen. Clearly, they wanted Xiao Chen to make the decision. Xiao Chen shifted his gaze to the Iron Hand Yama and asked, "Old Yama, what do you think of the Iron Horn Pirate Group's captain?" After thinking for a while, the Iron Hand Yama replied, "He is not like a regular pirate. He has a benevolent heart. I feel that he is here to return the Scarlet Blood War banner." After a pause, the Iron Hand Yama continued, "However, I also feel that something is wrong. If he is truly magnanimous, he would not be willing to lend us the Scarlet Blood War banner. There is no need for them to borrow our Scarlet Blood War banner. Back then, while the Iron Hand Yama said to lend it, there was actually no reason not to give it." Xiao Chen said indifferently, "Let's meet him." The bow of the ship welcomed the guests. A total of 4 or 5 people from the Iron Horn Pirate Group came. There were no other attendants. Everything was simple and did not look imposing. The leader was a middle-aged man in black captain's uniform. He had regular facial features and a squarish face, looking very imposing. Xiao Chen quickly stepped forward and performed a cupped fist salute. "Greetings, Iron Horn Pirate Group's captain. I have long heard of your great name." The middle-aged man carefully sized up Xiao Chen. Then he smiled and said, "My name is Yenj. I am a few years older than you, so you can just address me as Big Brother Yen. Actually, we have met before." Xiao Chen found this strange, so he asked, "Met before?" He could not remember when he had met such a person. Xiao Chen had always been confident in his memory. It was impossible for him to not have any impression of someone he had met before. "Young Master Xiao, do you remember this old man?" An old man walked out from behind Yenja and asked with a smile as he looked at Xiao Chen. "It's you." This person was the stall owner who sold the Dragon Shadow Condor wing bone to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen had a deep memory of this person. Back then, this person even recommended a drop of Dragon Shadow Condor essence blood to Xiao Chen. At that time, Xiao Chen had found it strange that Xiao Chen had killed a Dragon Shadow Condor. It turned out that this person was from the Iron Horn Pirate Group. No wonder. That explained everything. It looks like young Master Xiao still remembers this old man. "Back then, when you crossed the Grave Sea in a hurry, my captain saw you at the bow of the ship. You left a deep impression on me, and I still remember it clearly." The old man explained with a grin. Xiao Chen suddenly understood and said, "So that's how it is. Big Brother Yen, please come inside. I still haven't properly thanked you for saving my friends and brothers." Yenja waved his hand in refusal and said, "It's just a small matter, just something that happened in passing. It's not worth mentioning. I didn't come here for this. Here. Right after Yenja spoke, he tossed out the scarlet blood war banner. Xiao Chen stretched out his hand and gently caught it. Buzz. The war banner instantly unfurled, flapping loudly in the wind. A feeling of a bloodline connection came from the scarlet blood war banner. Back then, he had held the war flag and fought against the powerhouses of the Divine Shield Legion. After obtaining the scarlet blood war banner's acknowledgement, although the war banner had not recognized him as its master yet, this feeling of being connected by blood, like an arm, continued. A bleak and domineering aura emanated from Xiao Chen's body. The flapping war banners made the surrounding wind even louder. A strong wind blew on the bow of the warship, causing the clouds in the surroundings to tremble slightly. It conjured a strange phenomenon of fighting for supremacy and a long flag in the wind. Yenja chanted softly, "My name is Qi Shui. I have a body of scarlet iron, and my blood is burning hot. I have been up and down for half of my life, wandering from place to place. I have been invincible for half of my life, and I have been fearless. My body is like a sword, unyielding and unyielding. My heart is like the sun and moon, shining for 10,000 years. My body is like a mountain, spanning tens of thousands of miles. My eyes are like the stars, the sky is dark. I cover the sky with one hand and proclaim myself an emperor with the other." As the Scarlet Blood Pirate King spoke his last words, the Scarlet Blood War banner burned with a faint scarlet flame, looking even more tyrannical than before. "Pa pa pa!" Yenja clapped his hands and praised, "What a great Scarlet Blood Pirate King! Even after his death, his will is still so strong." Thinking back to his life, it was truly admirable and filled with emotions. Young Master Xiao is truly a young hero. To think that you managed to obtain the acknowledgement of the Scarlet Blood War banner. This Yen also admires you. This mysterious phenomenon happened in the time it took for Xiao Chen to take a breath. It was purely something that happened automatically after Yenja received the war banner. With a gentle wave, Xiao Chen put away the war banner. Without changing his expression, he said, "Big brother Yen, you even returned a treasure like the Scarlet Blood War banner. This also makes Xiao Chen feel admiration." "You are too polite." Yen just smiled faintly and did not deny it. "Goodbye then. I have an appointment with the Pirate Hall's Hall Master, so I will not disturb you any longer." Xiao Chen personally sent Yenja off. As he watched the other party leave, a contemplative light flickered in his eyes. This Yenja really has the air of a major character. To think that he really returned the Scarlet Blood War banner. This is truly unexpected, the Iron Hand Yama said somewhat ruefully. Xiao Sua's lips twitched as he said, "You fellow, didn't you say that this person would return it? It turns out that you were just consoling me." The Iron Hand Yama smiled and said, "It was just a feeling. Who would not be tempted by a treasure like the Scarlet Blood War banner? Even I would be tempted. I can only say that I ran into a good person this time." "Big brother Xiao, why aren't you saying anything?" Xiao Chen recovered his wits and smiled. "I was wondering when he would return." "Ah." The others were shocked. Would he return? Xiao Chen's first feeling was that this Yenja was not that simple. However, Xiao Chen could not figure out Yenja's character for now. After sending the Black Scimitar to be modified, Xiao Chen and the other members of the Black Scimitar rented a courtyard in the Pirate Hall. Inside the cultivation room, Xiao Chen thought hard. In the end, he gave up on advancing to Star Venerate. He needed a turning point to break through. Such a breakthrough was simply too casual. Although Xiao Chen was currently at peak Major Primal Core realm, his various aspects were still very malleable. There was no rush to break through. The modification of the Black Scimitar took half a month, using up 10 million Spirit Jades. Most of the Spirit Jades came from the Wolf King's compensation. Xiao Chen did not spend much himself. The Black Scimitar was already a peak 5-star weapon. Furthermore, with the immemorial Demon Soul formation, the Black Scimitar could rival a regular meteor pirate ship. For half a month, Xiao Chen used it all to temper his saber techniques. After obtaining the starting stance of the Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber technique, Xiao Chen planned to comprehend a saber technique from it. Just like Zhen Yuan's Azura Hell back then, Breaking the mundane and resolving the mundane ultimately chose to use breaking the mundane as the foundation. Xiao Chen would create a saber technique that belonged to him around it. This saber technique had a beautiful name, Dreamlike Mundane World. This time, from the moment Xiao Chen created this saber technique, he infused his great Tao energy and soul energy into it. This was very difficult and also the most challenging. After half a month, Xiao Chen had not comprehended a single move. He only had a vague method and a general feeling. Entering a dream with the saber, using a dream as a saber. After half a month, Xiao Chen was about to go on a long journey, using the Iron Blood token to head to a forbidden sea. Yanzhi arrived. Young Master Xiao, after not seeing you for a few days, your air has changed again. This is truly admirable. Yanzhi came alone, without any attendants or subordinates, appearing very casual. It seemed like this was the case. Whims come when whims come. Xiao Chen smiled and said, Big Brother Yan is too polite. You came at the right time. If you had come one day later, I would have been leaving the Grave Sea. Leaving the Grave Sea? Yanzhi appeared slightly startled. Are you going to the ash-gray sea of the 7 great forbidden seas? Xiao Chen nodded. Yes, the ash-gray sea. According to Elder Tang's deduction, the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure was in the ash-gray sea of the 7 great forbidden seas. It looks like Big Brother Yan knows where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is as well, Xiao Chen asked casually. Yanzhi was rather straightforward. He said softly, I was in the ash-gray sea for 30 years and saw the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's last words. With a little deduction, I figured out where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is. That place is called Myriad Star Mountain, a famous land of fortuitous encounters in the ash-gray sea. In the past, rumor had it that it was the remnant of an ancient sect. Unexpectedly, it was where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King left his treasure. Many rank 6 sects use that place as a dangerous land for experiential training for their disciples. Occasionally, the elders of the large sects might even personally charge over. Xiao Chen smiled calmly and said, It looks like Big Brother Yan understands this Myriad Star Mountain very well. Naturally. After being in the ash-gray sea for 30 years, I know these things. If you need help, you can come and look for me at any time. Yanzhi took out a jade strip and handed it to Xiao Chen. Then he said, This jade strip contains my will of soul. If you want to contact me, you just need to use your soul energy to activate the jade strip. Yanzhi was very generous. After leaving behind the jade strip, he left again. Chapter 1777. As Xiao Chen held the jade strip and looked at Yanzhi's back, he entered deep thought. Luo Nan, who was at the side, whispered, This Senior Yan is really magnanimous. To think that the Myriad Star Mountain is such a dangerous place. Should we invite him to come with us? Xiao Suo said seriously, So, the Myriad Star Mountain is such a place. Many rank 6 sects use it for experiential training. It is somewhat hard to imagine. Sects were categorized into ranks. Rank 7 was the highest. Above that were the various holy lands, the transcendent factions that did not leave the mundane world. A 6th grade sect was already a bona fide supergiant. An elder of a rank 6 sect could easily flatten the entire Grave Sea without any effort. Xiao Suo's worry was not without reason. Xiao Chen had interacted with rank 5 sects before. In Dragonflame City, he had fought with the many rank 5 sect disciples of the Yanwu dynasty. He had even fought with the true inheritors. All of them lost to him. The rank 6 sect disciples might be strong, but they would not be that strong. Xiao Chen did not fear them. What he feared were the rank 6 sect elders. If he ran into them, he would have no chance of victory. Xiao Chen looked at the Iron Hand Yama and asked, Old Yama, what do you think? After thinking for a while, the Iron Hand Yama said with some conflict, There is no way to ask for help. Our strength is not equal. We cannot work together unless we give up most of the benefits. In any case, I do not believe that this Yanzhi will really help us at all costs after just a few meetings. Elder Tang interjected, The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove must be incredibly vast. Even if we only take 1% of it, we will still be able to gain a lot and obtain significant fortuitous encounters. However what? The Iron Hand Yama asked. Elder Tang hesitated for a while before saying, however, what if the other party burns the bridge after crossing it and does not give us even 1%? We will not have the strength to deal with him. That can't be. I don't think that Senior Yen is that kind of person. If he were, he would not have saved us the first time we met. The first time we met did not involve any major benefits. It is hard to say what happens next. Everyone had their own opinions, and the discussion went on endlessly. The Iron Hand Yama, Elder Tang, and the others split into two factions. These two veterans did not believe in the so-called good things in the world. Everything was possible when it came to benefits. Luo Nan Fi and Xiao Su felt that they could trust Yenja, so they invited him to Myriad Star Mountain. Young Master Xiao, what do you think? Only then did the others remember that Xiao Chen hadn't spoken a word, so they hurriedly looked at him. Xiao Chen's eyes were solemn as he said, "This person is not normal." What? It was fine if he didn't speak, but the moment he did, Xiao Chen's words were shocking, causing everyone to be extremely surprised. Say, who can remain so calm after hearing about the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure? Calm and unruffled, without the slightest hint of agitation or excitement. Is there such a person? Xiao Chen's question immediately caused the Iron Hand Yama, Xiao Su, and the others to exchange glances. Naturally, there are such people. Once their strength reaches a certain level, they will not care about the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasures. However, what does he count for? He is just a late-stage star venerate. How can he be so calm? Fei Yer's expression changed slightly, and she asked softly, "Then he was pretending?" Xiao Chen nodded silently. This person is very scary, too shrewd and scheming. He knows our every move like the back of his hand. Of all times, he came just as we were about to leave, coincidentally appearing. After that, he inadvertently told us how dangerous the Myriad Star Mountain is and what kind of factions surround it. He clearly wants to explore the Myriad Star Mountain with us. However, he is trying to scare us off, wanting us to go and beg him ourselves. The expressions of Luo Nan, Fei, and Xiao Su immediately changed. They thought about it. Yen just said that that place was too dangerous, so they wanted to invite him to explore the Myriad Star Mountain with them. They had fallen for his trap and scheme. Xiao Su thought hard and said, "However, I can't figure out why he thinks so highly of us. Given his strength, he actually does not need to care too much about us. Right now, even if everyone on the warship worked together, they would not be a match for him. At best, Xiao Chen could barely protect himself and flee from him. To them, a late-stage star venerate was already an extremely terrifying existence." Whoosh! Xiao Chen stretched out his hand and summoned out the Scarlet Blood War banner. Perhaps it is because of this. Back then, when Xiao Chen first met Yenja, he felt that the other party was testing him. This was because Yenja could not obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner's recognition. He could only use the Scarlet Blood War banner as a weapon. Given that, although Yenja had the Scarlet Blood War banner, it would not be of much use in the treasure trove. That day, when the other party saw the war banner in Xiao Chen's hand, he instantly unfurled it and triggered a mysterious phenomenon. Xiao Chen had guessed that the other party would come again. If Xiao Chen could not obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner's recognition, the other party would definitely snatch it back. Upon hearing Xiao Chen's explanation, Luo Nan, Fi, and the others felt their hair stand on end. The Iron Hand Yama was rather normal. Before benefits, how could he have any poise or emotions? After fighting in the ash-gray sea for so many years, if he were really so benevolent, he would have been eaten up long ago. If he was really so benevolent, I'm afraid he would have been eaten long ago and wouldn't have been able to hold his current position. What should we do? For a moment, the group found themselves in a dilemma, unable to make up their minds. After being schemed against by such a strong enemy, every step they took felt like there was a sword at their backs, like they could fall into the deep abyss at any moment. Xiao Chen was rather calm. We'll beat them at their own game. On the other side, after Yenja returned to his residence, the core members of the Iron Horn Pirate group started asking questions. After hearing Yenja's explanation, they all revealed confused and surprised expressions. Captain, are we just going to let them go like that? Indeed. That concerns the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King was a legendary pirate king. It is hard to imagine how vast the treasure he left behind is. If we can obtain it, it might be possible for the Iron Horn Pirate Group to become a legend. The few subordinates were incredibly excited, and some were even more anxious. They immediately asked for permission to capture Xiao Qin and the others. Yenja smiled faintly. There are 3 strategies: the best strategy, the middle strategy, and the worst strategy. Your method of using brute force is the worst strategy of all. How can that Xiao Qin submit so easily? Even if you can use his friends to threaten him, it will be hard to guarantee that he will fight to the death. At that time, the losses outweigh the gains, and the losses will be even greater. But we can't just let them go like that, right? The old man who sold the Dragon Shadow Condor wing bone to Xiao Qin said, feeling confused. Yenja was very confident. He smiled unhurriedly and said, "He will come back and look for me in less than 2 hours." What if they really leave? Someone asked, still feeling dissatisfied. Yenja replied indifferently, "I have my own backup plans. The Ash-Gray Sea is not a peaceful place. I will make them suffer a little, and they will still take the initiative to come and look for me. The best way to manage people is to attack their minds. I want them to work for me wholeheartedly and even feel grateful to me." After a while, someone came to report that Xiao Qin sought an audience. Yenja revealed a faint smile. The core members of the Iron Horn Pirate Group immediately felt that their captain was unfathomable and had great foresight. Captain is truly a godly person. Every step that Xiao Qin takes is within Captain's calculations. Indeed, it is as Captain said. He really came. Yenja waved his hand and said, "Don't give the game away. Come with me to meet him." In the hall, Yenja received Xiao Qin seriously. "Young Master Xiao, what brings you here?" Xiao Qin pretended to think for a while. Then, he said somewhat embarrassedly, "I would like to invite Big Brother Yen to come with me to the Myriad Star Mountain and take care of it. Of course, if there are any gains, I will definitely thank you generously." Yenja revealed a troubled expression as he said, "I'm afraid that I cannot do so even though I have the heart." Xiao Qin asked curiously, "Why?" Yenja explained, "I will not be able to leave the Grave Sea for the next half-month. I still have many old friends that I have yet to meet. Once I leave the Grave Sea this time, I will probably not come back again. I really do not want to waste this opportunity." Xiao Qin felt surprised, but he could not force the issue. After chatting for a while, he took his leave. "Captain, he already delivered himself to us. Why did you not agree?" After Xiao Qin left, the others in the hall revealed confused expressions once more. Yenja said indifferently, "Don't worry. Everything is under control. It is hard to guarantee that he is not here to test us. Firstly, my answer can dispel his suspicions. Secondly, if I casually agree, it will be hard for him to understand my importance. After he suffers, I will send him charcoal in his hour of need. Only then will he truly be grateful to you." Yenja's words immediately won the admiration of Yenja's subordinates. They simply did not expect their captain to be so scheming. Outside the courtyard, Xiao Qin shook his head and smiled bitterly before leaving. "You already saw through me, yet you are still acting. In that case, I will continue acting with you." Chapter 1778. Life is like a play, it all depends on acting skills. Xiao Qin did not have a good way to deal with this Yenja at the moment, so he could only continue acting with the other party. Firstly, the Iron Horn Pirate Group was very powerful. Yenja's cultivation was even more unfathomable. He was at least a late-stage star venerate. Whether it was a small perfection late-stage star venerate, a great perfection late-stage star venerate, or a peak late-stage star venerate, he knew nothing and could not feel it at all. This was a terrifying enemy that could destroy the Black Cutlass in an instant. Under his generous appearance, there was a heart as vicious as a poisonous scorpion. It would be a huge mistake to be fooled by his appearance and think that he could just walk away. He wasn't afraid of the other party acting, but he was afraid that the other party wouldn't be willing to act and would resort to forceful means. That Xiao Chen really couldn't do anything about it. He could only allow himself to be slaughtered. It was unfortunate to be targeted by such a person. The situation was much more dangerous than it seemed. However, since he liked to act, it was exactly what Xiao Chen wanted. For the time being, he would play dumb, pretend to be infected, pretend to be schemed against. What the Black Cutlass and him needed was time. Xiao Chen believed that as time passed, the balance of power would slowly tip in his favor. Back at the Black Cutlass, Elder Tang quickly asked, "How is it?" Xiao Chen smiled and said, "It's okay." He refused. "You refused? In that case, wouldn't we have misunderstood him?" Elder Tang was slightly surprised. The others were also quite surprised. The corners of Xiao Chen's mouth curled into a mocking smile. He's just playing hard to get. This person's methods are really extraordinary. However, it does not matter. We just need to put on a good show with him. I do need such help for the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. The chess game was unpredictable. Yanzhi wanted to use Xiao Chen as a chess piece. Since that was the case, Xiao Chen might as well beat him at his own game and make good use of him. Come, let's go to the Ash-Gray Sea. Using the Iron Blood token, Xiao Chen successfully met the Pirate Hall's Hall Master, an old man with unfathomable strength. The feeling he gave Xiao Chen was actually much better than Yanzhi. The Pirate Alliance was very mysterious. For it to be able to exist openly for so long, it definitely had many outstanding aspects. If the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan was the overlord of the Grave Sea on the surface, then this old man was the Grave Sea monarch in the dark. However, the Pirate Hall had always been neutral. It would never seek revenge for pirate groups or start a feud with the Divine Shield Army or sections. It felt like the Pirate Hall did not have a strong presence. It was more like a large chamber of commerce that knew how to make money. Anyone, even if they were not pirates, could trade treasures, purchase materials, and auction items in the Pirate Hall. Furthermore, even if it was a disciple of a righteous sect who came to register as a pirate, the Pirate Hall would not ask about it, simply ignoring it. His attitude was rather ingenious. Even so, no matter how weak the pirate halls in the Grave Sea were, they would not be able to survive. The Divine Shield Army and the Bloodsword Army did not dare to target the Pirate Hall. This was a taboo. No one dared to comply. "Captain Xiao, are you sure you want to use the Iron Blood token to head to the Ash-Gray Sea? It is not good for you to go to the Ash-Gray Sea with your strength. Why don't you wait a few more years?" The old man gave Xiao Chen some face, not saying that only death awaited him if he went to the Ash-Gray Sea. He only said that it was not good and that he would go later. "I've already made up my mind. Senior, please help me." It's not really help. The Iron Blood token is issued by the Pirate Hall in the first place. I will follow the instructions of whoever holds the Iron Blood token. When the old man saw how determined Xiao Chen was, he did not say anything more. The old man ferociously clenched his fist and directly crushed the Iron Blood token. Boundless blood flowed out of the old man's hand. It was like a river of blood had appeared in his hand, pouring out blood continuously. Soon, the blood piled up, drowning Xiao Chen, Xiao Suo, and even the Black Cutlass. In the next moment, the blood turned into an unending stream of scarlet light soaring into the sky. The scarlet light shot towards the sky above the Pirate Hall. Stars flickered above the Pirate Hall, and a formation appeared out of nowhere, absorbing all the scarlet light. The light disappeared in a flash. Many people saw this scene but did not know what happened. "Captain, they are going." The Iron Horn Pirate Group's people immediately called out. However, they were no strangers to this. Yanzhi showed a grave expression as he said, "Follow them." Right after Yanzhi spoke, an Iron Blood token appeared in his hand, and he crushed it. After a while, another beam of scarlet light soared into the sky, entering the mysterious starry heavens formation above the Pirate Hall. The Iron Horn Pirate Group followed. Indeed, it was as Xiao Chen expected. This Yanzhi would not remain indifferent to the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. Furthermore, Yanzhi would not let Xiao Chen's group escape Yanzhi's grasp. Back then, when Xiao Chen obtained that jade strip, he knew that this jade strip could let him contact the other party. It could also let the other party know where Xiao Chen was at all times. If Xiao Chen tossed it away, then Yanzhe would know Xiao Chen's plan. Then, Yanzhe would immediately use force to make Xiao Chen work for him. Unfortunately, Yanzhe was not strong enough. Even if he knew the other party's plan, Xiao Chen could not toss away the jade strip. He could only beat Yanzhe at his own game. The moment Xiao Chen and the others were submerged in blood, they lost consciousness. When they reappeared, they were already dead. When they reappeared, the black cutlass appeared in a new sea. One of the 7 great forbidden seas, the ash-gray sea. Captain, the seawater is corroding the first layer of defensive formations. It will not last for another hour. The level of space is too terrifying. A few of the internal components of the pirate ship have been crushed. If we do not think of a way to deal with this, the ship will disintegrate in half a day. Captain, there is a ferocious beast swimming over in front. The moment Xiao Chen's voice landed, bad news arrived. Everyone had no time to appreciate the vastness of the vast ash-gray sea. Xiao Suo was very busy. The entire black cutlass worked quickly, doing its best to keep the pirate ship moving normally in the ash-gray sea. Don't panic. According to the previous plan, the black cutlass should have no problem moving normally in the ash-gray sea. Xiao Chen was strangely calm, calming Xiao Suo's somewhat anxious heart. Xiao Suo nodded and said, "Right. It is just that we suddenly came to the ash-gray sea and need some time to adjust. We can deal with the other problems. However, that ferocious beast is somewhat problematic." Xiao Suo pointed to a strange bird that appeared on the water screen in the captain's quarters. However, Xiao Chen smiled and said, "It came at a good time. The immemorial demon soul formation happens to need some nourishment." Right after Xiao Chen spoke, Xiao Chen left the pirate ship with a few flashes. What strong spatial pressure! The Forbidden Sea truly lives up to its reputation. Xiao Chen could already move freely in the Grave Sea. However, when he arrived at the surface of the ash-gray sea, he felt pressure. There seemed to be many invisible hands on the surface of the sea, pulling on Xiao Chen's feet and pulling him into the sea. The surging seawater seemed to possess a demonic nature, deterring one from looking at it for long. The seawater here was definitely much more terrifying than the seawater of the Grave Sea. "Open!" Xiao Chen shouted, and the vital qi in his body swam through his dragon veins. All the dragon bones in his body crackled, sounding like a terrifying dragon roar. The moment Xiao Chen brought out his small perfection divine dragon war body, he resisted all the pressure. Xiao Chen looked into the distance. There was a huge scarlet bird with scarlet feathers covering its body. It was nearly 1 kilometer long. A demon blood vulture. Xiao Chen's eyes lit up. He was somewhat reluctant to use it as nourishment for the immemorial demon soul formation. Even in the ash-gray sea, such mutated beasts were extremely rare. They possessed a demonic nature and had strong growth potential, able to evolve continuously. It would not be strange for several demon blood vultures to evolve into existences like the underworld ghost bird or the dragon shadow condor. The prerequisite was that the demon blood vulture had to continuously absorb all sorts of demonic nature. If Elder Tang managed to tame it, it would definitely become a great weight for the black cutlass. When that demon blood vulture felt Xiao Chen's gaze, it could not help releasing its demonic nature. To think that an insignificant human wanted to tame it. He truly overestimated himself. Chapter 1779. Demon Blood Vulture. The demon blood vulture before Xiao Chen was already close to middle stage star venerate. Furthermore, it was born and raised in the ash-gray sea. It held a great advantage over the newcomer Xiao Chen. The demon blood vulture exuded a strong demonic nature. When it spread its wings, a surging demonic might spread out, causing the waves to surge and roar, looking very awe-inspiring. When Xiao Chen saw the situation, he thought to himself, "I heard that many demonic Tao experts like to rear this bird. On one hand, it suits my nature. On the other hand, I can use my demonic nature to nourish this bird, bringing out the best in each other. It looks like the rumors are true. The demon blood vulture is indeed full of demonic nature, ferocious and cruel. However, since it runs into me today, it has to be obedient and wait to be captured. Xiaochen watched as the demon blood vulture charged over at lightning speed, its sharp claws looking like it wanted to tear him in half. Kasi. Just as Xiaochen thought this, the demon blood vulture arrived before Xiaochen, and a berserk shock wave surged out. Xiaochen immediately felt a huge pressure. His physical body felt like a fallen leaf about to get swept away. The demon blood vulture is controlling the wind. If Xiaochen could not stabilize himself and got swept away by the strong wind, he would be at the mercy of the demon blood vulture, unable to do anything about it. With a thought, Xiaochen silently circulated the ice feather divine incantation. Immediately, snow flew everywhere, and cold chi spread out. Under the influence of the boundless cold chi, the demon blood vulture's speed decreased significantly. The originally terrifying strong wind immediately became much gentler. Xiaochen smiled coldly and fanned his sleeves. Bang! 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 With this casual fanning, Xiaochen drove 20 cauldron force, which surged out like a tsunami. It instantly scattered the other party's strong wind. The demon blood vulture, which was approaching Xiaochen, immediately found it extremely difficult to take another step forward. Left without a choice, the demon blood vulture spread its wings and circled around before diving down again. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The demon blood vulture opened its beak and spat out thousands upon thousands of scarlet demonic arrows containing the demonic chi it had cultivated for hundreds of years. If an ordinary person came in contact with these arrows, they would immediately die, corroding into a skeleton. Xiaochen did not dare to underestimate it. Even with his physical body, he did not dare to touch this darn thing. What? Xiaochen drew his saber from its scabbard and slashed out. This saber strike contained great Tao energy and soul energy that Xiaochen could already control freely. As the saber light slashed out, all the arrows formed by demonic chi were destroyed. However, the demon blood vulture took advantage of this opening to bully Xiaochen. When it flapped its wings, space seemed to fold. Xiaochen was in the middle of it, unable to control himself. The two forces pressed against each other, causing him to feel a sense of danger. The demon blood vulture quickly folded its wings, wanting to crush Xiaochen to death. What great strength! Xiaochen did not panic. A swastika appeared between his eyebrows. Buddhist light immediately enveloped his body, and the overbearing and ferocious Buddhist light swept out in all directions. The demonic nature spreading from the demon blood vulture immediately burned and purified like fire. The demon blood vulture cried out miserably. Buddhist might. This was what gave Xiaochen the confidence to deal with this demon blood vulture. If it were another ferocious beast of the same grade, Xiaochen would have some trouble dealing with it. The demon blood vulture, a ferocious beast with a demonic nature as its foundation, was much easier to deal with. Of course, this was only relative. If this demon blood vulture was stronger, the Buddhist might would not have any effect on it. Like water and fire, they restrained each other. Taking advantage of the demon blood vulture's miserable shriek, Xiaochen executed resolving the mundane. Boom! An eternal and inextinguishable saber light appeared. Xiaochen, who had destroyed the 6 desires, sent out his strongest saber strike. The strong aura immediately pushed back the demon blood vulture and averted the danger of being shocked to death by its wings. When the boundless saber light landed, a long wound appeared on the demon blood vulture's body. Blood continuously flowed out. It immediately wailed and flapped its wings as it fled frantically. To think that it still has such strong life force. Xiaochen's figure flashed, and he landed on the demon blood vulture's head. The demon blood vulture remained unconvinced. It tried to fling Xiaochen off, doing its best to struggle. Xiaochen sheathed his saber, and the top of the scabbard landed heavily on Xiaochen's head. This shook the demon blood vulture's soul, and its injuries worsened. Then, Xiaochen sent a strand of spiritual sense into the untamable demon blood vulture's mind. Be obedient, or else I will take your life. After a few clashes, the demon blood vulture was at a complete disadvantage. It was forced to carry Xiaochen back to the Black Cutlass. The expressions of the Black Cutlass's crew members immediately changed drastically. When they saw Xiaochen above, they revealed shocked expressions. Captain actually subdued this ferocious beast. Elder Tang showed shock on his face. Unexpectedly, not only did Xiao Chen defeat this demon blood vulture, but he even subdued it. Whoosh! A white light flashed, and Xiao Chen landed beside Elder Tang. Senior Tang, I'll leave the matter of completely taming this demon blood vulture to you. Elder Tang showed a troubled expression as he said, Young Master Xiao, although I come from the beast-governing sect, I have not reached the level where I can tame a star-venerate-level ferocious beast. Furthermore, the beast-governing sect's beast-taming method is to tame it from a young age, using sound to control it. Very few forcefully subdued it like young Master did. What Xiao Chen did was not taming but subduing. He could not nurture the demon blood vulture's loyalty at all. Furthermore, with Xiao Chen's strength, there was no need to think about taming a ferocious beast. Naturally, I know. Come to my cultivation room later. Xiao Chen did not explain much. He walked over to Xiao Suo and asked, How's the situation? Xiao Suo smiled and replied, Everything is back to normal. Our Black Cutlass can rival a 6-star pirate ship. There should be no problem navigating the ash-gray sea. Xiao Chen frowned and said, Just navigating the ash-gray sea is not enough. When Senior Gue forged the ship, he used the immemorial demon soul formation as its core. All this while, you have not put in the effort to study this immemorial demon soul formation. Naturally, I know what Big Brother is talking about. However, Xiao Suo found it hard to speak of his troubles, finding it hard to explain. Xiao Chen patted Xiao Suo's shoulder and said, I understand what you mean. The immemorial demon soul formation's demonic nature is too deep, too evil. You are afraid of becoming its puppet. Yes, that is the principle. Leave it to me then. Xiao Chen felt very confident. As he looked at the vast ash-gray sea and the demon blood vultures circling around, he felt very carefree. What the Black Cutlass lacked was time. That Yenja thought that he could control the Black Cutlass and crush it at any time. Now that the sky was high and the sea was wide, this was the time for Xiao Chen to show off his abilities in the ash-gray sea. Xiao Chen took out Yenja's jade strip and smiled coldly to himself. So what if you know where I am? After about 7 minutes, Elder Tang discovered that the Iron Hand Yama was in the cultivation room as well. However, he did not see Xiao Chen. Old Yama, why do you think young Master Xiao called us over? Elder Tang felt somewhat nervous as he looked at the Iron Hand Yama in confusion. The Iron Hand Yama drank wine and smiled. Little brother Xiao Chen has been planning this trip to the ash-gray sea for a long time. Now that he is here, he should be carrying out his plan. What do you mean? The Iron Hand Yama smiled mysteriously. Did you not notice that little brother Xiao Chen did not panic at all after he saw through that Yenja's plan? He must have planned this long ago and is not afraid at all. Otherwise, given his character, he would definitely travel alone and not bring us along to take the risk. Elder Tang's expression changed slightly as if he thought of something. Just at this moment, Xiao Chen walked out. He nodded slightly to the two before taking a seat. Xiao Chen looked at Elder Tang and said, Senior Tang, this is a beast-taming cultivation technique that I just copied. Take a look. Beast-taming art? Elder Tang felt slightly surprised. Many beast-taming cultivation techniques in the world had such names. Just from the names, one could not make out anything special. After looking at it for a while, Elder Tang's expression changed drastically. This is the ancient beast-taming abode's beast-taming cultivation technique. Young Master Xiao, where did you obtain it? Where did Xiao Chen get it? Naturally, he found it in the scripture pavilion in the underground dragon city. He also obtained the ice feather divine incantation there. Xiao Chen's memory was astonishing. He would not forget any cultivation technique that he had seen. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen found a cultivation technique related to beast taming. This beast-taming art was created by an expert. It was a unique method that allowed one to carve formations in the minds of subdued ferocious beasts. The formation merged with the soul and bloodline. Not only could it control the ferocious beasts, but it could also control the descendants of the ferocious beasts. By relying on this cultivation technique, any disciple of the beast-taming abode could easily control hundreds of ferocious beasts during the ancient era. The strong ones could even control thousands or tens of thousands of ferocious beasts. There was more to the beast-taming art. When cultivated to a high level, one could continuously modify formations to strengthen the ferocious beasts they controlled. How is it? With this beast-taming art, Elder Tang, are you confident of taming that demon blood vulture? Elder Tang laughed loudly and said, "It will be easy. Young Master Shao, rest assured." After obtaining the beast-taming art, Elder Tang felt incredibly excited. He immediately took his leave and started studying it. Now, only Shao Chen and the Iron Hand Yama remained in the cultivation room. "Old Yama, you are the most experienced on the black cutlass. Do you know why I only handed this beast-taming art to Elder Tang after arriving at the Ash Gray Sea?" The Iron Hand Yama smiled faintly and said, "Our every move in the pirate hall cannot escape that Yenji's eyes and ears. Any sign of trouble will startle him. At that time, we might end up helping him for nothing." Shao Chen nodded and praised the Iron Hand Yama. He truly lived up to his reputation. "Actually, that Yenji is nothing much. I have never paid too much attention to him. If we treat him as our opponent, then our vision is too narrow." A brilliant light flashed in Shao Chen's eyes. He had seen true experts before and received the inheritance of the foe god flame. His vision was already extraordinary. However, we do need to use him on the trip to the Myriad Star Mountain. I'm afraid that even more incredible people will appear. It would be best for him to be our vanguard. At the same time, we can probe his limits. The Iron Hand Yama said in a gratified manner, "It looks like little brother Shao Chen already has a card up his sleeve. My previous worries were for naught." Shao Chen smiled faintly and took out a secret manual for the Iron Hand Yama. "These are the cultivation techniques and martial techniques that I chose for you. They are both medial grade earth ranked. You will need them when you advance to Star Venerate." The Iron Hand Yama received them and took a look. His heart immediately thumped heavily. They were indeed medial grade earth ranked cultivation techniques and martial techniques. Even in a rank 6 sect, such cultivation techniques would require extremely high contributions before one could read them. Shao Chen casually took out 2 books. This was really a big move. "There is no need to thank me. The Ash Gray Sea is vast and full of danger. If we are not careful, we will get wiped out. However, this is also the best opportunity for our Black Cutlass to rise up. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is just one of them." Chapter 1780. When the Iron Hand Yama heard Shao Chen's words, he immediately felt a sense of lofty aspirations spread in his heart. Shao Chen's words were somewhat hot-blooded, inspiring encouragement. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove was just one. In that case, how high was Shao Chen's goal? In the end, these people were just ants in this great thousand realms. The things they saw and the things they experienced were just the tip of the iceberg of the great thousand realms. However, Shao Chen was different. He had inherited the foe god flame. In the memories of that foe god senior, he had inherited the foe god flame. In the memories of that foe god senior, Shao Chen felt the vastness of this world, the true strength of those peak experts. Plucking the stars and grabbing the moon was no myth. In the eyes of those experts, it was just a trivial matter. There was the even more mysterious true god realm. That was a realm that even foe god seniors yearned for. Only by becoming a true god could one have an unlimited lifespan, able to exist forever with the world, never to be destroyed. The Iron Hand Yama performed a cupped fist salute and said, "I'll enter closed-door cultivation right away. I definitely will not let down little brother Shao Chen's expectations." Shao Chen nodded and said, "You have been accumulating at peak major primal core realm for many years. Now that you have broken through to Star Venerate, it proves your potential. You are no weaker than the experts of those large sections. You just lack fortuitous encounters and resources. What's even rarer is your experience of killing. Those sect experts simply cannot compare to you." When the Iron Hand Yama heard this, he felt encouraged, like he had been reborn. Originally, he had thought that reaching peak late-stage star venerate in this life would be the end of him. However, when he heard Xiao Chen's words, he felt that he could still improve further. He had set his sights too low. Elder Tang and the Iron Hand Yama were currently the two strongest people on the Black Cutlass. Naturally, Xiao Chen had to nurture them well. As for Xiao Suo, Luo Nan, and Fei, Xiao Chen had made preparations as well. However, these people's cultivations were not high enough. The cultivation techniques and secret manuals that they prepared could not be used yet. This was especially so for Xiao Suo. Xiao Chen had even higher hopes for him. Right now, Xiao Suo was at the juncture of breaking through to Star Venerate. Xiao Chen hoped that Xiao Suo could figure out his own Tao before giving him help. Once he succeeded, it would not be difficult for them to overtake Elder Tang and the Iron Hand Yama, even though they started later. His future potential would be even greater. After a moment of silence, Xiao Chen began to think about his path in the cultivation room. He was wondering if he could forcefully break through the 11th layer of the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation. Xiao Chen's original plan was to smoothly break through to the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation's 11th layer after he became a Star Venerate. That way, there would be no risk and it would be extremely safe. But the more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was unreliable. After the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation reached the 7th layer, a lightning tribulation would descend with every layer. If the lightning tribulation could be safely passed without any challenge, the lightning tribulation would not be of any help to him at all. In the Kunlun realm, Xiao Chen had been able to surpass his potential and break through his limits many times. It could be said that it had something to do with the lightning tribulations. Now that he had come to this great thousand world, he had neglected the essentials and focused on trifles. It was really a little too clever for his own good. I need to break through to the 11th layer of the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation before I become a Star Venerate. Coincidentally, my Thunder Tao has reached a bottleneck. If I can break it, I might even be able to grasp the Thunder Great Tao. Xiao Chen said softly. The light in his eyes grew increasingly brighter. The clouds parted, and his eyes became clear. Before Xiao Chen obtained the Tyrant Saber, he already had extremely high attainments in the Thunder domain. After obtaining the Tyrant Saber, his understanding of the Thunder Tao deepened. After using the Tyrant Saber's Thunder Great Tao several times, his comprehension deepened and he benefited greatly. Actually, Xiao Chen had a similar experience in the Kunlun realm. The facts proved that one could not purposely avoid lightning tribulations. There was a world of difference in the benefits obtained from enduring lightning tribulations and clearing them without any threat. However, this vast ash-gray sea looked quiet and uninhabited, looking boundlessly vast. However, it was hard to predict how many dangers hid under the water. It was not that easy to find a place to take the tribulation. I should go and take a look at the immemorial demon soul formation first. Xiao Chen collected his thoughts and entered the next layer, arriving before the immemorial demon soul formation. Sometimes, Xiao Chen wondered what Senior Gray's intentions were when he placed this terrifying formation on the Black Cutlass back then. This formation was strong, strange, and evil. No one dared to think too deeply about it. Actually, the entire layout of the Black Cutlass used the immemorial demon soul formation as the core. No matter how it was designed later, it was all within Senior Gray's framework. No matter how much it changed, it was still the same. However, Xiao Chen and the other crew members of the Black Cutlass would not use the immemorial demon soul formation unless it was a critical moment. The reason was that this formation was too evil. Actually, using the flesh and soul of cultivators to replenish this formation was the fastest way to light up the pearls. However, the people on the ship, including Xiao Chen, did not have such thoughts. Once they made an exception and enjoyed the benefits, they would not be able to stop. This was no different from how the demonic Tao did things. Sooner or later, it would affect their hearts. The scarlet demonic formation was profound and complicated. The leaping scarlet light covered the entire formation in layers of thick scarlet mist. Xiao Chen had been suppressing it, so the scarlet mist was not as exaggerated. Otherwise, the incredibly evil and demonic blood mist would have covered the entire Black Cutlass. Whoosh! Xiao Chen stretched out his hand and grasped the formation plate at the core. The scarlet mist covering the formation immediately scattered. The immemorial demon soul formation stopped operating, and the entire black cutlass was affected. The various defenses of the ship weakened significantly. A cold sensation spread out, and Xiao Chen felt like he had fallen into an ice cave. His body no longer had any warmth. An evil aura invaded Xiao Chen's body, spreading throughout it. It is much stronger than before. Xiao Chen had a strong will. Naturally, he would not be affected. With a thought, he removed the tyrannical evil aura from his body. Xiao Chen flipped the formation plate over and saw 4.5 pearls on the Yazi beast's chest, looking exceptionally scary. If all 18 pearls were lit up, who knew how strong it would be? The Yazi beast looked like it would fly out at any moment. It stared at Xiao Chen ferociously, not treating him as its master at all. Xiao Chen remained indifferent. No spells would work against such an evil thing. There was no shortcut to restrain it. One could only be stronger than it. As long as one was stronger than it, they would not be able to do anything. Xiao Chen casually waved his hand, and the formation plate returned to its original position. Then, the hazy scarlet chi rose up again. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. This scarlet chi that leaked out was filled with evil, containing an incredibly pure demonic nature. This was a huge hidden danger of the Black Cutlass. The Black Cutlass had to be careful at all times to suppress it. If the demon blood vulture absorbed this scarlet chi, it could resolve the hidden danger of the Black Cutlass and increase its strength at the same time. With a casual wave, a suction appeared in Xiao Chen's hand, instantly absorbing a small portion of the scarlet chi. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. After a while, Xiao Chen left the pirate ship with a few flashes and arrived in the air. At this moment, the demon blood vulture was injured. It was currently curled up on the spirit beast platform behind the Black Cutlass. The spirit beast platform looked like it was only 100 square meters. However, it was actually an incredibly vast world inside. Such a spatial formation was expensive to build and even more expensive to maintain. Many 6-star pirate ships could not maintain it. However, Xiao Chen did not lack spirit jades. Naturally, he could build one. There were 2 cold steel eagles and some other ferocious beasts that Elder Tang tamed in the spirit beast platform. The demon blood vulture dominated the area, and no other ferocious beasts dared to approach it. Feeling Xiao Chen's gaze, this demon blood vulture opened its eyes. It remained unruly, looking at Xiao Chen with murderous intent. It is indeed very demonic. Even now, it is still thinking of how to eat me. Xiao Chen could not help smiling when he saw the demon blood vulture from the air. There were burn marks from the Buddhist light on the demon blood vulture's body. Its originally beautiful scarlet feathers no longer had their luster. They looked like wild chicken feathers, dispirited and listless. Xiao Chen waved his hand, and a scarlet light shot out. The scarlet mist that the demon blood vulture absorbed in the immemorial demon soul formation entered its body. The demon blood vulture immediately trembled, and its curled-up body suddenly unfurled. The demon blood vulture's dispirited aura was swept away, and its injuries healed quickly. The scarlet feathers covering its body gave off a beautiful scarlet light. The demon blood vulture looked mysterious and noble, as well as a trace of evil. Whoosh! When the demon blood vulture finished absorbing the scarlet light, it soared into the air and charged at Xiao Chen. The demon blood vulture immediately unleashed its demonic nature. The sudden eruption caught everyone off guard. If it were an ordinary person, the demon blood vulture would have torn them to shreds and eaten them alive in the next moment. Xiao Chen snorted coldly, and a golden light suddenly flashed in his eyes. He activated the great desolate divine eyes, and the blue dragon's dragon might spread out from his body. The demon blood vulture's aura trembled, and its speed slowed significantly. However, it still refused to give up and continued charging forward. Xiao Chen spread out his Dao might again. A Dao disc appeared behind Xiao Chen, and the Saber Dao's great Dao's might spread out. Hesitation flashed in the demon blood vulture's eyes as it continued charging forward. This great humiliation made it hate Xiao Chen to the bone. After the demon blood vulture recovered from its injuries, Its demonic nature immediately erupted. "What a great demon blood vulture! You are really rebelling." Xiao Chen raged, and a swastika appeared on his forehead. His Tao might, dragon might, and Buddhist might merged, and his aura reached its peak. Xiao Chen punched ferociously, and 20 cauldron force instantly exploded out. The demon blood vulture, whose aura suffered setbacks, went flying with one punch from Xiao Chen. The dragon might, the Tao might, and the Buddhist might terrified the demon blood vulture. With the 3 combined and 20 cauldron force, the demon blood vulture tumbled back. Xiao Chen somersaulted and landed on the demon blood vulture, which had just stabilized itself. Then he gently tapped its head with his scabbard. The unruly fellow immediately quietened down. However, the red light in its eyes did not fade. "Be more obedient." Riding the demon blood vulture, Xiao Chen started to patrol the surroundings, searching for a suitable place to undergo the tribulation. At the same time, he could hunt ferocious beasts. He still needed to strengthen the immemorial demon soul formation. Chapter 1781. Riding on the untamable and demonic demon blood vulture, Xiao Chen patrolled the Black Cutlass. Firstly, he could quickly adapt to the ash-gray seas environment. Secondly, he could hunt ferocious beasts to temper himself, adding nourishment for the immemorial demon soul formation. Thirdly, he could search for a place to undergo his tribulation. The vast ash-gray sea stretched as far as the eye could see. The waves surged and large waves rose and fell. Occasionally, pirate ships and adventuring ships of sects passed by. Although the ash-gray sea was vast and dangerous, there were many cultivators and pirates who came here to seek fortuitous encounters and temper themselves. This was especially so for pirates. Of the ships that passed by, 7 out of 10 were pirate ships. Xiao Chen had once heard Xiao Suo say that the Forbidden Seas were places that many pirates wanted to explore their entire lives. Without stepping into the Forbidden Seas, one could never be considered a true pirate. This was a kind of qualification. However, this sea region was only at the edge of the ash-gray sea's periphery. It was still a long way from the true deep sea. In this place, it was mostly peaceful and no accidents would happen. Everyone knew that there would not be any tempting resources or fortuitous encounters at the ash-gray sea's periphery. There was no need to worry about it. "Big brother, there's a demon blood vulture." A cultivator at the bow of a pirate ship discovered the demon blood vulture soaring in the sky, and his eyes immediately lit up. The demon blood vulture was a rare ferocious beast. Its entire body was a treasure. This was especially so for cultivators who cultivated demonic cultivation techniques. It was a great supplement, even more attractive than dragon blood or dragon meat. Don't get any ideas. Don't you see that there is another person on that demon blood vulture? It is best not to offend someone who can even tame a demon blood vulture. Otherwise, you will not even know how you died. That captain was very knowledgeable. When he saw Xiao Chen on the demon blood vulture, he immediately gave up on that idea. There were many similar people. However, when they saw someone tame a demon blood vulture, they all gave up. Their eyes filled with pity. A demon blood vulture was something that they would not run into even once in a blue moon. Even if they ran into one, it would be astonishingly strong and possessed an overwhelming demonic nature. One could not afford to offend it. For example, when Xiao Chen ran into a middle-stage star venerate and a demon blood vulture that had yet to fully mature, he could be said to be bursting with luck. "Over there." Xiao Chen, who sat casually on the demon blood vulture, looked around and discovered a strange black fish at the bottom of the sea. His body was like a small island. If not for the fact that he was bobbing up and down, one would really think that he was an island in the sea. Xiao Chen knew quite a lot about dire beasts, but he didn't know what this strange black fish in front of him was. However, based on its aura, it was a star venerate level ferocious beast. "It's you, do it." Xiao Chen patted the demon blood vulture he sat on, and it swooped down like a red phantom. Before the strange black fish could sink back into the water, the demon blood vulture's claws tore through its scales and flapped its wings. Boom! It raised monstrous waves, and the seawater on both sides directly sank. The demon blood vulture snatched the strange black fish out of the air. Blood flowed out like a mountain stream. This guy's claws are really terrifying. Fortunately, I didn't give it a chance to grab me. Xiao Chen thought to himself, I got lucky. The demon blood vulture's strength is truly horrifying. There was practically no need for Xiao Chen to make a move. The instant the demon blood vulture grabbed the strange fish and soared into the air, it used its sharp beak to peck and puncture the strange fish's head. Then, the demon blood vulture swallowed the strange fish. No matter how it struggled, it was useless. In merely 2 or 3 moves, the demon blood vulture nearly killed this early-stage star venerate strange fish. Xiao Chen quickly stopped the demon blood vulture and directed the demon blood vulture to fly back to the black cutlass. When it got close, it tossed the half-dead strange fish into the sea. Whoosh! Xiao Sua activated the immemorial demon soul formation, and a blood mist spread out from the ship. The immemorial demon soul formation continuously consumed the pirate-sized strange fish, giving off terrifying roars. That was the Yazi beast demon eating. From Xiao Chen's angle, the black cutlass, which was covered in blood mist, looked exceptionally strange. The demon blood vulture, which Xiao Chen sat on, looked at the blood mist. Saliva flowed out of its mouth like a river. The demon blood vulture became restless, wanting to pounce over and suck up all the blood mist. However, Xiao Chen firmly held it down, not giving it a chance at all. This was not the time to feed this ingrate. Once it grew stronger, it could kill Xiao Sua in the blink of an eye. Xiao Chen had to wait until Elder Tang's cultivation reached a certain level and he completely tamed this demon blood vulture before he could feed it without any worries. Let's go! After taking a few more looks, Xiao Chen rode the demon blood vulture far away again. During the past half-month, Xiao Chen and the demon blood vulture patrolled the place, killing all sorts of ferocious beasts. With the demon blood vulture, an old bird of the ash-gray sea, around, Xiao Chen could avoid those terrifying ferocious beasts that he could not afford to offend. Even so, there were still several times when he had a close shave with his life on the line. Once, he saw an unremarkable little bird. He found it strange, so he gave it a few more glances. That little bird instantly turned 7-colored. Then, it opened its beak and spat out green venom that filled half the sky. Everywhere it passed, no ferocious beast survived after coming in contact with the venom. Later, Xiao Chen learned that this was one of the 10 great venomous beasts of the ash-gray sea. It was known as a flower bird. When the demon blood vulture revealed its true form, it outshone the flowers. However, even holy venerates did not dare to come in contact with its venom. Fortunately, Xiao Chen had the Taiji Yin-Yang flame diagram, preventing the venom from coming in contact with it. Otherwise, he would have died. After another half-month, Xiao Chen rode the demon blood vulture back to the black cutlass. Boom! When the demon blood vulture landed on the spirit beast platform, it spread its wings and glared. The other ferocious beasts like the cold steel eagles immediately trembled in fear and quickly moved to the side. Big brother, the immemorial demon soul formation lit up 5 pearls. Xiao Sua quickly walked over and shared this news with Xiao Chen. After 1 month of hard work and killing more than 100 ferocious beasts, the remaining half of the pearl finally lit up. With the 5 pearls lit up, the Yazi beast demon soul's strength rivaled that of a late-stage star venerate. Coupled with its identity as a great desolate Aeon ferocious beast, it was actually much harder to deal with than a true late-stage star venerate. Xiao Chen nodded and said, I'll go and take a look. When Xiao Chen entered the next layer, he found himself surrounded by a hazy blood mist. There was practically no place for him to stand. The blood mist, which originally only covered the formation's surface, had already seeped out completely, spreading to every corner of the next layer. Xiao Chen observed carefully and discovered that much of the blood mist could perfectly permeate the various components of the ship. Actually, this black cutlass was slowly absorbing the blood mist at all times. However, it was clear that the speed at which the ship absorbed the blood mist could not keep up with the speed at which the blood mist seeped out. Otherwise, the ship would not be in this state, not even having a place to stand. Big brother, I noticed this mysterious phenomenon long ago. Although the ship's defense increased significantly from absorbing the blood mist, I keep feeling that it will turn into a demonic ship sooner or later. Xiao Suo stood beside Xiao Chen, speaking somewhat worriedly. A demonic ship? Xiao Chen smiled and asked, Xiao Suo, what do you think of demonic Dao cultivators? Xiao Suo was stunned for a moment before replying, actually, I've come into contact with many demonic Dao cultivators. Most of them are ferocious people, not bound by morals or etiquette. When they do things, they do not have any worries or restrictions. For the sake of achieving their goals, they will do anything. After Xiao Chen got off, he asked, what do you think of that Yanjia? Feeling confused, Xiao Suo asked, what does this have to do with Yanjia? Xiao Chen smiled and replied, naturally. That Yanjia has thick eyebrows and big eyes. While he looks righteous and magnanimous, he has a venomous heart. Do you think he is of the demonic Dao or the righteous Dao? Hence, even if we use a demonic ship, we might not be of the demonic Dao. Even if we cultivate a righteous Dao cultivation technique, we might not be of the righteous Dao. There is no need to worry too much. These words immediately cleared up Xiao Suo's thoughts, smoothing out the knot in his heart. Most of the crew members on this ship are young. Their mental states and willpower might not be as firm as ours. After staying with the blood mist for a long time, it will be hard to avoid being affected. As the captain, your every action is very important. If you can guard your heart, you will be able to imitate them and prevent them from falling into the demonic Dao. I understand. Xiao Suo nodded. This time, he had completely resolved the knot in his heart. In the future, he would no longer feel as conflicted when facing the immemorial demon soul formation. After all, he was the owner of this ship. Xiao Chen's explanation was for Xiao Suo to have a better black cutlass in the future. However, the blood mist that leaked out was too wasteful and had some hidden dangers. I have to go and see how Elder Tang's cultivation of the beast-taming art is going and whether he can completely tame that demon blood vulture. Captain, that Xiao Chen is still asking for reinforcements. It looks like he has already adapted to the ash-gray sea. In the Iron Horn pirate group, the core crew members surrounded Yanjia, discussing in whispers. None of them wanted to watch this duck fly away right in front of their eyes. Yanjia smiled faintly and said, it is just the periphery of the ash-gray sea. We will run into trouble sooner or later. There is no rush. I gained a lot from this trip to the Grave Sea, deepening my mental state. I feel that I will break through to Star Venerate soon. Congratulations, Captain. The moment Yanjia said that, the others immediately became excited. Breaking through to Star Venerate meant that the captain would advance to the second stage of the Cloud Sea realm, the Holy Venerate realm. Chapter 1782. Elder Tang, how is your cultivation of the beast-taming art? Xiao Chen asked straightforwardly when he arrived at Elder Tang's room. Elder Tang smiled and said, although 1 month is short, my accomplishments in beast-taming are not low. My foundation is not bad either. The beast-taming art has a total of 9 layers. Now that I have successfully cultivated the first layer, I am more or less at the entry level. Xiao Chen felt gratified. This was the reason why he gave the beast-taming art to Elder Tang to cultivate instead of cultivating it himself. Every profession had its own specialization. The beast-taming Dao was no weaker than the saber Dao or the sword Dao. Xiao Chen did not have any foundation at all. If he wanted to cultivate the beast-taming art, he would have to spend a lot of time. Are you confident of planting a soul mark in the demon blood vulture? The so-called soul mark was the beast-taming formation in the beast-taming art. There were more than 1,000 kinds of formations, from simple to complicated. Collectively, they were known as soul marks. Once a soul mark was planted, the ferocious beast would be completely subdued. With a thought, the master could determine the lifespan of the ferocious beast. The scarier thing was that the soul mark would penetrate deep into the bones, blood, marrow, and soul. Even the descendants of ferocious beasts would have a soul mark when they were born. Elder Tang entered deep thought and said, I can give it a try. I'm not confident. If I were a Star Venerate, I would not have to worry. Xiao Chen consoled, It's fine. Try it on the cold steel eagles and the other ferocious beasts. I'm not in a rush. If I can gain some experience, I will be more confident of taming that demon blood vulture. Elder Tang paused for a moment. Then he suddenly thought of something. Right. Young Master Xiao, I took a look at the sea map the day before yesterday. In another 7 days, we will be officially in the ash-gray sea. After that, not only will the environment be harsher, but there will also be more pirate ships. We have to plan ahead. Xiao Chen asked, finding this strange. We are not considered in the ash-gray sea yet? Elder Tang smiled and sighed. The ash-gray sea is very vast. Even a divine vein powerhouse would not dare to travel the entire place. Right now, we are only at the edge of the ash-gray sea's edge. When the seawater turns white and we feel the ancient and desolate aura of the ash-gray sea, we will be officially in the ash-gray sea. I got it. 7 days, only 7 days left. When Xiao Chen officially set foot in the ash-gray sea, he would definitely encounter many dangers and competitions. Pirates were unreasonable. Anyone who dared to come to the ash-gray sea would not be weak. Xiao Chen fell into deep thought. It seemed like he would have to bring his tribulation forward. After a month of patrolling and exploring, he found a few places to undergo tribulation. Alas, none of them were too ideal. Now that they were about to formally enter the ash-gray sea, Xiao Chen could not afford to be picky. After taking his leave of Elder Tang, Xiao Chen climbed to the lookout tower. Then, he looked around and fixed his gaze on the demon blood vulture on the spirit beast platform behind. The demon blood vulture felt Xiao Chen's gaze and looked back lazily. However, it showed no intention of getting up. Xiao Chen understood his intentions. He smiled faintly and waved his hand. The demonic blood mist that Xiao Chen collected earlier turned into a beam of scarlet light and flew towards the demon blood vulture. The demon blood vulture screeched excitedly and sucked in the demonic qi that ordinary people avoided in one gulp. The demon blood vulture looked at Xiao Chen in disappointment. However, Xiao Chen had not completely tamed the demon blood vulture yet. He would not let it devour the blood mist wantonly. At most, he would reward it with some sweetness as a snack. The demon blood vulture flew out of the spirit beast platform unwillingly. It spread its wings and immediately kicked up a strong wind. The black cutlass shook slightly. Whoosh! With a somersault, Xiao Chen landed on the demon blood vulture's back. Then he rode it to his tribulation location. Even for Xiao Chen, flying over the vast ash-gray sea drained a lot of energy. With a demon blood vulture, not only was it fast, but it could also conserve energy, making it much more convenient. The only problem was that this demon blood vulture was not easy to deal with. Once Xiao Chen could not suppress it, it would turn around and tear him to shreds, ruthlessly devouring him. After flying for 500 kilometers, an island appeared before Xiao Chen. Huge waves surged in the surroundings. Occasionally, huge splashes soared into the clouds. This place was remote, with strong winds and strong waves. Few ships would take this route. This was one of the places that Xiao Chen chose to undergo his tribulation. The environment here was harsher. The lightning tribulation that he triggered would definitely be more intense. Xiao Chen had no choice but to choose the tallest of the shortest. Go back then. Xiao Chen patted the demon blood vulture's head and told it to return. He did not fear the demon blood vulture fleeing. Clearly, the demon blood vulture liked the blood mist a lot, to the point of addiction. The demon blood vulture kept thinking about how to kill Xiao Chen and devour more of the blood mist. It would not flee at all. Xiao Chen stared at the demon blood vulture in the distance. He discovered that it started circling midway, not listening to Xiao Chen's instructions to return to the black cutlass. This fellow, Xiao Chen could not be bothered with it. After sighing, he withdrew his gaze. In any case, he left a mental mark in the demon blood vulture's body. No matter where it flew, it would be found. Whoosh! Xiao Chen's figure flashed, and he landed on the island. The island was rather vast, spanning about 200 or 300 kilometers, nearly the size of a small city. There were mountains, rivers, lush vegetation, and a vast forest. Xiao Chen gently pushed off with his feet and landed on the tallest mountain on the island. Then he took out the medial-grade spirit jades from his storage ring and laid a spirit-gathering formation. After he finished, he sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes, choosing the core of the formation. The purple thunder divine incantation slowly circulated. Pure and thick spiritual energy immediately poured into the spirit-gathering formation from the ash-gray sea. Then, the spirit-gathering formation sent the spiritual energy into Xiao Chen's body. Then, the purple thunder divine incantation converted the spiritual energy into the purer lightning-attributed veritable essence energy. As the lightning-attributed veritable essence energy flowed in Xiao Chen's meridians, boundless thunderclouds started to gather within 50 kilometers. After a while, the thunderclouds in the surroundings surged like a vast army, kicking up dust and stirring up the wind and clouds. The thunderclouds grew increasingly ferocious, and thunder started rumbling. Terrifying bolts of lightning tore through the cloud-filled sky. Charge! 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 Xiao Chen, who had been suppressed at the purple thunder divine incantation's 10th layer for a long time, roared in his heart. At this moment, he circulated the purple thunder divine incantation without any worries. The purple chi whirlpool in his dantian that belonged to the purple thunder divine incantation spun wildly. The berserk purple color spread throughout his dantian, completely covering up the normally weak ice-attributed chi whirlpool. Flickering sparks appeared on the surface of his skin. His long, black and white hair fluttered wantonly. At this moment, although Xiao Chen's eyes were closed, he looked domineering, showing off his sharpness. If Xiao Chen opened his eyes, his gaze would definitely be like a powerful saber light, illuminating the sky and the vast ash-gray sea. As the purple thunder divine incantation circulated more wildly, Xiao Chen tried to break through the bottleneck of the 11th layer again and again. The mysterious phenomenon created by the surging thunderclouds in the sky grew increasingly horrifying. Roar! Suddenly, a bolt of lightning descended not far from the spirit-gathering formation, directly shattering a mountain range. That was the rage of heaven, warning Xiao Chen not to continue stubbornly and stop cultivating the purple thunder divine incantation. If he continued stubbornly, the rage of heaven would descend with a lightning tribulation. It would crush his bones and scatter his ashes, never to reincarnate. As Xiao Chen slowly broke through the bottleneck, all sorts of terrifying lightning continuously landed around him. 1 hour later, the small mountain where Xiao Chen was already barren, leaving only the lone peak where he sat. Break, 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 break. Stubbornly, Xiao Chen used his veritable essence energy in his meridians to break through 7 acupoints, opening up all the meridians that the purple thunder divine incantation's 11th layer required. Whoosh! The thunderclouds that spread for 500 kilometers in the sky suddenly gathered and shrank continuously. They turned into a huge and terrifying black whirlpool above Xiao Chen's head. Thunderclouds spun continuously in the center of the whirlpool. The many layers of terrifying mysterious phenomena made it hard to tell what kind of terrifying existence was behind the whirlpool. Xiao Chen opened his eyes and looked at the world with disdain, sitting on the mountain and watching the vast sea. Under Xiao Chen's gaze, 2 beams of light extended for 5,000 kilometers on the vast sea surface. It looked like the ash-gray sea was on fire. At this moment, the sea region, which was originally filled with endless waves, suddenly quietened down. Everything in the vicinity, including the many sea birds and ferocious beasts, sensed danger approaching. They all fled in all directions like crazy. The thundercloud whirlpool above Xiao Chen's head spun extremely slowly at this moment. Soon, a bolt of lightning illuminating the surroundings descended on Xiao Chen. The rage of heaven would definitely arrive with a lightning tribulation. If one dared to go against heaven's might, then one had to be prepared to receive a lightning tribulation. Come on, Xiao Chen thought to himself. However, he felt very calm at this moment. Unbeknownst to Xiao Chen, 2 dim jade-green lights suddenly appeared in a cave under the island. Chapter 1783. The first bolt of tribulation lightning descended amid the howling wind and torrential rain. Cracks appeared in Xiao Chen's veritable essence energy shield. The scattered tribulation lightning passed through the shield. The scattered lightning passed through the veritable essence energy shield and landed on Xiao Chen's physical body. However, this was just the appetizer. The second bolt of tribulation lightning descended without giving Xiao Chen any time to catch his breath. This was a black bolt of lightning. When it descended, it was like a javelin piercing through the spatial barrier. The veritable essence energy shield instantly shattered. Xiao Chen gently patted the ground with his palm. The instant he stood up, he punched. Xiao Chen shattered the second bolt of tribulation lightning. The purple thunder divine incantation continued circulating endlessly, frantically absorbing the drifting spiritual energy in the surroundings. Xiao Chen, who was undergoing his tribulation, did not give up on cultivating. The sky raged, and the spiritual energy of the world became exceptionally dense, much denser than in the ash-gray sea. In the blink of an eye, another 7 or 8 bolts of lightning descended. Each bolt targeted Xiao Chen, not giving him any time to dodge or catch his breath. The 10th bolt struck Xiao Chen. Boom! Xiao Chen crashed to the ground. A heart-wrenching pain radiated from all over his body. However, Xiao Chen managed to survive the first wave of tribulation lightning. The wounds on his physical body slowly healed. The remnant energy of the tribulation lightning in his body spread to his internal organs, limbs, and bones. However, Xiao Chen could not get rid of it within a short time. Xiao Chen did not have time to get rid of it, either, as the second wave of tribulation lightning was accumulating power. Lightning continuously gathered in the huge and horrifying thundercloud whirlpool in the sky. It was like a ball of lightning was nurturing a sun, illuminating the surroundings, looking resplendent and dazzling. Whoosh! The ball of lightning suddenly descended. As it fell, it continuously absorbed the surrounding lightning-attributed energy, making it increasingly dazzling and large. By the time it approached Xiao Chen, it was already as large as a mountain range. This ball of lightning wanted to suppress Xiao Chen. It did not give Xiao Chen any chance of survival, using its absolute rage to kill Xiao Chen. To kill Xiao Chen, this unfilial son that angered the heavens. It's not that easy to kill me. Xiao Chen naturally wouldn't allow himself to be captured without putting up a fight. He wouldn't foolishly let the thunderball hit him. In that case, no matter how powerful he was, he would still be blasted into smithereens. Not even his bones would be left, and not even dregs would be left. The power of the great Tao. A Tao wheel appeared behind Xiao Chen, and Tao might spread throughout his body. His entire body was filled with a boundless and vigorous saber will. Divine dragon body tempering art. With a furious roar, Zhang Xian exerted strength in all his bones and limbs. Vital qi surged in Xiao Chen's dragon veins. The dragon might from inside out caused azure-colored dragon qi to flow out of Xiao Chen's body, surrounding him. Dragon qi circled around Xiao Chen's body, appearing ancient and noble. He gave off the faint might of a king. 9-star essence core. With another shout, the 9-star primal core lit up with 7 stars for the first time in history. Starlight flickered in Xiao Chen's primal core. Veritable essence energy flowed out and filled his entire body, bringing with it a surging and strong energy. Soul will. With a thought, the azure-colored dragon seal in Xiao Chen's soul pool shone brightly, and his will of soul strengthened his entire body. The universe respects me, and my will is the will of the heavens. Saber of the tyrant. With the support of many energies, Xiao Chen took out the tyrant saber and ruthlessly chopped down in the time it took for a spark to fly. Great Tao energy, divine dragon vital qi, 7-star veritable essence energy, and will of soul worked together with a peak Tao tool to send out an extremely tyrannical and dazzling saber light. Heaven and earth dimmed under this saber light, leaving only black and white. The colossal thunderball split in half, turning into countless bolts of lightning that fell on the vast ash-gray sea. Boom, boom, boom. When the scattered lightning landed on the surface of the sea, it gave off loud explosions that shook the world. The lightning exploded, erupting with intense and berserk energy. Thousands of holes appeared on the surface of the sea and the land, turning the place into a mess. In the surrounding 5,000 kilometers, only Xiao Chen's feet were on high ground. He stood upright while holding his saber, looking coldly at that terrifying thundercloud whirlpool. "Let's see what exactly you are." Xiao Chen roared and soared into the sky, flying towards the horrifying whirlpool in the sky. "Kneel, kneel, kneel." Invisibly, explosive roars rang out in Xiao Chen's mind. The sound of "kneel" shook Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness, even affecting his soul. Terrifying electric light descended continuously, like the sky's tentacles trying to push Xiao Chen back. Xiao Chen brandished his saber as he charged towards the sky amid the electric light filling the sky. Even though the path ahead was incredibly dangerous, he still soared into the sky, defying the heavens. He only wanted to see what kind of existence the mysterious heavens that sent down lightning tribulations for him was. Crack! A bolt of lightning descended, severely injuring Xiao Chen and knocking him down. However, in the next moment, Xiao Chen somersaulted and leaped up, ignoring his injuries as he continued forward. Just like that, Xiao Chen faced the relentless lightning tribulation and got increasingly closer to that thundercloud whirlpool. The strong thunder might made it hard for Xiao Chen to move. He was already covered in injuries. However, Xiao Chen, who was only one step away, did not think of giving up. He shouted and tried to charge in to see what was going on. Suddenly, a piercing white light appeared in the whirlpool. The instant the white light appeared, another bolt of tribulation lightning shot out. At the same time, Xiao Chen was shocked to discover that he could not move his body at all. Shaken by some kind of might, Xiao Chen could only watch as the lightning tribulation charged at him. Pu Si. The lightning bolts were very thick. A bowl-sized hole immediately appeared in Xiao Chen's chest, and blood spurted out like a fountain. "Kneel!" An explosive sound rang out in Xiao Chen's mind again. Countless bolts of tribulation lightning blasted his body beyond recognition. Rumble! The lightning bolts crashed back down. Wounds covered Xiao Chen's entire body. He could no longer bear the heavy burden. However, that thundercloud whirlpool still spun slowly. The surroundings fell silent, and the storm subsided. The lightning tribulation had already been going on for most of the day. That earlier lightning strike severely injured Xiao Chen with 1,000 bolts of tribulation lightning. It was as if it represented the end of the tribulation. Xiao Chen coughed a few times and spat out a mouthful of blood. He struggled to raise his head and look at the wounds on his body. His body was riddled with holes, especially when he was trying to enter the thundercloud vortex. There was a bowl-sized hole in his chest that had yet to heal. It was a terrifying sight. "Is it over?" Xiao Chen stabbed the tyrant's saber into the ground and lay on the ground. He looked at the slowly dispersing thunderclouds in the sky as he spoke softly. The lightning tribulation this time was far stronger than the previous one. His defiance of the heavens increased the difficulty of the tribulation. Fortunately, his powerful fleshly body helped him endure it. Once he recovered in the future, his body, which had been baptized by tribulation lightning, would improve further. His comprehension of the Thunder Tao would similarly benefit him greatly. However, just as Xiao Chen was about to stagger to his feet, the thundercloud whirlpool suddenly condensed together and transformed into a huge bell that was engraved with many runes. Then, it slammed down toward Xiao Chen. "Damn it! It's not over yet." Xiao Chen cursed in his heart. His eyes instantly turned golden as he activated his blue dragon bloodline. The energy from the ancient great desolate Aeon spread throughout his body. With the activation of his bloodline, Xiao Chen felt his strength rapidly increase. The ancient and strong aura allowed Xiao Chen's aura to soar in a berserk manner. "Kill!" Xiao Chen drew the tyrant saber beside him and soared into the sky. After activating his bloodline, he erupted with the strength of a late-stage star venerate. A saber light infused with the will of soul ruthlessly chopped down on that lightning bell. Ding, ding, ding. The lightning bell gave off loud sounds, shaking Xiao Chen's internal organs and shattering them. Blood continuously flowed out of Xiao Chen's mouth. His soul received a huge shock, and his vision turned blurry and dizzy. The lightning bell did not shatter immediately. Instead, it pressed down on Xiao Chen, pushing him towards the ground. Xiao Chen had only one thought in his heart: to shatter this lightning bell. Otherwise, only death awaited him. Boom! The saber tore a long crack in the lightning bell. However, the lightning bell also pressed Xiao Chen to the island. Amid loud sounds, the island bore the brunt of the lightning bell's impact, blasting it into pieces. Xiao Chen roared ferociously as he used his full power to send out one final saber strike. The lightning bell finally shattered. Purple electric light spread out in all directions. The seawater looked like it had been shaved off by 100 meters. The sky cleared up and the thunderclouds scattered. This lightning tribulation was officially over. The island was no longer there. Xiao Chen lay on the surface of the sea and heaved a long sigh. The spiritual energy in the surroundings of the ash-gray sea surged into Xiao Chen's body as he circulated the purple thunder divine incantation's 11th layer. Xiao Chen did not consume any medicinal pills. He just relied on his physical body to slowly recover. Only then could he completely refine it. The energy left in his body by the tribulation lightning would bring him boundless benefits. His physique was extremely strong. Since the lightning tribulation didn't exist, he would definitely die. Since the lightning tribulation was gone, his physical body recovered extremely quickly. In mere moments, the horrifying hole in his chest had already healed. Xiao Chen closed his eyes and recalled his experiences in the lightning tribulation, doing his best to comprehend the Thunder Great Tao. He wanted to use this opportunity to break through the final bottleneck of the Thunder Great Tao. However, just at this moment, a fatal aura of danger appeared in Xiao Chen's heart, prompting him to interrupt his comprehension of the Thunder Great Tao in a fluster and open his eyes. Chapter 1784. Just what I wanted. However, the huge waves surging out of the sea swallowed up Xiao Chen. When the water dragon approached, Xiao Chen threw a punch, quickly punching with the power of rushing lightning. With this thought, Xiao Chen retreated quickly. The island was so vast, at least 50 kilometers wide. Such a ferocious beast had to be huge and extremely strong. This startled Xiao Chen. It turned out that he had been undergoing his tribulation on the back of a ferocious beast. If he properly absorbed everything he comprehended today and cultivated for a while, his strength would definitely soar. A pair of jade-green eyes came out of the island and stared at him. The wall of waves grew taller, and the Tao might of the water great Tao became incredibly heavy. The Taiji yin-yang flame diagram instantly formed, blocking this attack that was even faster than lightning, an attack that caught everyone completely off guard. However, at this moment, the aura of lightning made him look as tall and mighty as a god. It's it. Whoosh! Xiao Chen's internal organs immediately churned. He felt like a thick metal mountain crashed into him. Seeing that Xiao Chen was in danger, the tortoise beast revealed itself and used its wings to break the two water palms that carried huge force. Bang! Xiao Chen's body continued to climb. However, he discovered that his physical body had already reached a critical point in the ash-gray sea, unable to continue rising. Just at this moment, Xiao Chen looked around and discovered that the island that the lightning tribulation blasted apart floated to the surface again. Before Xiao Chen could react, a complete Tao disc appeared behind him and slowly unfurled. Boom, boom, boom. With a thought, lightning immediately filled the sky. Rumbling thunder resounded in the world. Seeing that it could not take down Xiao Chen, the tortoise beast used the same trick. The sea suddenly soared 3 kilometers, forming an overwhelming wave that surged towards Xiao Chen. It was the demon blood vulture. It turned out that it had not left all along. As Xiao Chen watched the surging wave, his purple lightning spun endlessly, frantically absorbing the lightning-attributed energy in the sky. He had already comprehended the Thunder Great Tao and gained enough. After he returned, he would enter closed-door cultivation for a few more days. This was clearly a late-stage star venerate ferocious beast. Although it was not a peak late-stage star venerate, it was not far from it. Bang, bang. If he had been shot, it would have pierced through his chest. The injury he had just received would have worsened. Breaking through the wall of waves, Xiao Chen soared into the sky and rushed toward the turtle beast. The tortoise beast's snake-like neck and ferocious mouth smashed into the flame diagram. Under the intense pain, it shrank back even faster. Countless lightning bolts shot out of Xiao Chen's body, and half the sky was dyed with lightning. It was the great Tao of lightning. With the help of the demon blood vulture, Xiao Chen immediately gave up on retreating. He turned around and landed on the demon blood vulture, then charged at the turtle beast. As the other party spread his great Tao energy over the sea, the already extremely heavy gravity of the ash-gray sea became even heavier. Xiao Chen did his best to absorb and refine what he had comprehended in the lightning tribulation. The more he fought, the more valiant he became. His control over the power of thunder became even better. But as Xiao Chen absorbed more and more lightning-attributed veritable essence energy, it filled his body. As Xiao Chen hovered in the air, he showed a cautious expression, showing doubt on his face. The island rose higher and higher until it finally emerged from the water. Now, Xiao Chen had retreated far away. As Xiao Chen roared, he ferociously opened his hand, and boundless electric light shot out. Sensing that the other party's aura had already locked onto him, Xiao Chen did not retreat. He cautiously looked at the other party, storing up his aura. A wave of water shot out like an arrow from the spot where he had been lying. Xiao Chen's body became more nimble, dodging the attacks of the various waves and water dragons even more easily. He poured out all the lightning-attributed energy he had accumulated in his body. The Tao disk behind him condensed into a point and soared up. The sky above him seemed to rise higher. Boom! The purple thunder divine incantations circulated wildly. Xiao Chen shouted, and lightning-attributed energy exploded in the surroundings. Then he charged out of the huge waves surrounded by electricity. Bang! The sky turned dark and thunderclouds spread out. As Xiao Chen hovered in the air, he appeared to be in a sorry state. Xiao Chen roared in his heart. There was no time to think. 2 spots of light flickered in his eyes. This was the sea region. Water-attributed ferocious beasts had an innate advantage. Furthermore, this was an old tortoise beast that had lived for an unknown period of time. Pu Si. Xiao Chen revealed an expression of understanding. The sea region's environment was very harsh. The waves never stopped, and some even soared into the clouds. Xiao Chen simply somersaulted in the air and quickly landed on the surface of the sea. Just as Xiao Chen was thinking this, he saw 2 spots of dim light shoot out from the entrance of the cave. As Xiao Chen refined the tribulation lightning in his body, he discovered that the ash-gray sea's restraints on him were slowly weakening. Without the tyrant saber's help, Xiao Chen could execute the thunder great Tao alone. He could not help rejoicing. Xiao Chen had just undergone his tribulation and had just recovered from his severe injuries. The tyrant saber's timing was really good. He had already passed the place where he underwent his tribulation. Furthermore, this place was remote and uninhabited. Who could be sneak attacking him? Xiao Chen could not help thinking. When Xiao Chen saw the scene, he could not help laughing. You still have some conscience. Unexpectedly, the 2 gigantic palms were chopped in half. A strong wind blew over Xiao Chen's head. With this thought, Xiao Chen thought of retreating, not willing to tangle with this tortoise beast for too long. With a wave of his hand, boundless lightning howled out, looking like a lightning storm. The tortoise beast roared, and the huge waves on the sea surged even more terrifyingly. Who is it? Xiao Chen's expression turned grave, and a lofty aspiration appeared in his heart. He had just undergone his tribulation lightning. Along with this, huge waves rose on the surface of the sea, looking like a tsunami trying to swallow him up. Interesting. You tortoise beast, are you thinking of eating me? When Xiao Chen saw the startling wall of waves surging over, he punched. Electricity flickered in Xiao Chen's eyes, losing their usual color. Killing this ferocious beast would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Just by looking at that tortoise shell, one could see how strong its defense was. The tortoise beast's head quickly elongated, looking like a terrifying python biting at Xiao Chen. Electric light exploded in the fist light. In one breath, Xiao Chen punched 100 times, shattering the golden water dragon. Without giving Xiao Chen any time to feel confused, The calm water suddenly surged with huge waves, one after another. Xiao Chen, who was alone with one punch, stood before the towering waves, looking incredibly insignificant. It had reached an unprecedented level. At this moment, his hair had completely turned purple. He comprehended the Thunder Great Tao and was just half a step away. The other party was using the Water Great Tao to fight him, giving his Thunder Great Tao some motivation to advance. If this continued, the tortoise beast would exhaust Xiao Chen to death sooner or later. Xiao Chen vaguely felt that he had broken through some limit. Water-attributed Great Tao energy spread out. This tortoise beast was very talented. It actually comprehended Great Tao energy. Only then did Xiao Chen discover that it was a gigantic tortoise exuding a terrifying aura. When Xiao Chen punched, the surging lightning-attributed energy directly blasted a huge hole in the wall of waves. A whirlpool appeared in the water, sucking in Xiao Chen and pulling him towards the gigantic tortoise. The tortoise beast was a late-stage star venerate ferocious beast in the first place. Furthermore, it comprehended the Water Great Tao and held the geographical advantage in the Ash-Gray Sea. Where is it? What ferocious beast is it? Thousands of water dragons surged out, carrying terrifying energy as they charged at Xiao Chen. One by one, the water dragons were blasted apart by the lightning. However, after the water dragons dispersed, they would quickly reform. This sea region returned to how it was when Xiao Chen first arrived. Furthermore, it was much more dangerous. However, the battle continued, not allowing Xiao Chen time to rest. Xiao Chen's movement technique suffered another setback, greatly reducing his nimbleness. Damn it! This tortoise beast really wants to swallow me up. However, just at this moment, the two halves of the wall of waves suddenly turned into two gargantuan hands that pressed together with immense force, wanting to smash Xiao Chen into a meat patty. Originally, Xiao Chen did not investigate the cause and effect. Now, it looked like a ferocious beast was causing trouble. That tortoise was even faster than lightning. When it opened its mouth and sucked, it produced a huge suction force, immediately hindering Xiao Chen's movements and significantly slowing him down. Just at this moment, something strange happened. In the end, it formed a terrifying pillar of lightning encasing Xiao Chen, connecting to the lightning-attributed energy of the world. Xiao Chen heavily smacked the surface of the sea with his palm. Then he somersaulted and soared into the air. That island was formed on the back of that ferocious beast. The tortoise beast showed a ferocious light, not showing any gentleness at all. Chapter 1785. With the demon blood vulture's help, Xiao Chen's confidence in defeating this turtle beast immediately increased. One man and one beast had fought together for more than 30 days, so they had developed some tacit understanding. Xiao Chen used his Thunder Great Tao to fight the turtle beast's Water Great Tao, while the demon blood vulture focused on attacking. With the two working together, the situation immediately became much better. With the demon blood vulture restraining the turtle beast, the pressure on Xiao Chen lessened significantly. Furthermore, he comprehended the Thunder Great Tao and could easily deal with the ferocious beast's Water Great Tao. The scene looked good, but the effects were not. The turtle beast's four limbs and head shrank into its shell. The demon blood vulture's various attacks did not leave a mark on the turtle shell at all. On the other hand, the turtle beast could even circulate its Water Great Tao to attack Xiao Chen while hiding inside. There was no way to break its defense. From the beginning, the turtle beast was in an invincible position. No matter how the demon blood vulture unleashed its demonic nature and frantically attacked, it could not truly injure the turtle beast. After clashing head-on a few times, the demon blood vulture's claws ended up getting injured. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. Where exactly is this fellow's weakness? All ferocious beasts, including cultivators, have weaknesses. The demon blood vulture's weakness was cultivation techniques and martial techniques that countered its demonic nature. Xiao Chen's weakness was his weak defense and his martial techniques. Aside from his two trump cards, the sharp spirit finger and the Taiji yin-yang flame diagram, he did not have any other decent defensive martial techniques. Furthermore, his cultivation was relatively low. He did not have any advantage over the disciples of the large sections. This turtle beast before Xiaochen definitely had a weakness. Water and fire? Suddenly, a thought occurred to Xiaochen. This turtle beast was clearly a water-attributed ferocious beast. Xiaochen had been using his Thunder Great Tao, but he could only fight it on equal footing. If he used flames, there might be an unexpected effect. Fire naturally countered water. Furthermore, Xiaochen happened to have two kinds of primal chaos-level flames. He did not know which heavenly flame or icy divine flame could counter the other. You restrain it. I'll attack. Xiaochen patted the demon blood vulture's head. Then, he leaped up and quickly flew towards the turtle beast. Although the turtle beast had shrunk its entire body into its shell, the few openings on its mountain-sized shell were also startlingly large. However, the entrance of the cave was deep and dark. Thinking about it, the turtle head's attack was even faster than lightning. It really took some courage to approach the turtle beast. He seemed to feel the threat brought by the rapidly approaching Xiaochen. The pair of dark green eyes shrunk in the turtle shell, emitting waves of cold light. Its cold gaze was firmly locked onto Xiaochen, clearly still treating him as its greatest enemy. Xiaochen and the demon blood vulture wanted to kill this turtle beast. The tortoise beast also didn't want to give up on the two pieces of fat meat in front of it. It wasn't stupid at all. The fact that it was able to endure until Xiaochen finished his tribulation showed how scheming it was. Xiao. Suddenly, a dark light shot toward Xiaochen. Xiaochen barely dodged it. Only then did he discover that the dim light was a water arrow that the tortoise beast had spat out. Its lethality wasn't great. Oh no, I've been tricked. Before Xiaochen could change his direction, the tortoise beast's neck elongated infinitely like a snake coming out of its hole. It seemed to have calculated where Xiaochen would dodge. A terrifying mouth appeared above Xiaochen and swallowed Xiaochen up. However, in the next moment, the retracted head suddenly opened up in pain and spat out a clump of fierce fire. While the tortoise beast was scheming against Xiaochen, Xiaochen was scheming against it as well. This time, the heavenly flame struck the tortoise beast, burning all its internal organs. After spitting out Xiaochen, the tortoise beast's head retracted completely, and its entire body slowly sank. After the heavenly flame burned its foundation, the tortoise beast no longer dared to fight. How can I let go of the fat meat that is already in my mouth? Xiaochen waved his hand, and the ice snow divine flame spread out. The surface of the sea instantly froze. When that tortoise beast sank halfway, it discovered that it could not sink any further. The tortoise beast could only move its body and shatter the ice. Slowly, it sank much slower. Seeing the tortoise beast in a sorry state, the demon blood vulture took the opportunity to move. It folded its wings and flapped them ferociously. Countless beams of red light shot out like arrows and entered the tortoise shell. That was a lethal venom. Earlier, the tortoise beast's defense did not have any openings. It could always use the water Tao to block the demon blood vulture's venom. At this moment, its internal organs were burning, and it could not even fend for itself. There was no way for it to block the venom. The heavenly flame burned internally, and the venom corroded externally. It attacked from both the inside and the outside. The seemingly undefeatable tortoise beast's strong life force slowly corroded away, and its life force grew increasingly weak. Xiaochen did not want the tortoise beast to die just like that. The immemorial demon soul formation needed such strong nourishment. He sent a voice projection to Xiao Sua, telling him to bring the black cutlass over. 4 hours later, a pirate ship with a black banner appeared in Xiaochen's vision. When Xiao Sua and the others saw that colossal tortoise beast, they were startled. Xiaochen's figure flashed, and he landed on the deck. Activate the immemorial demon soul formation, then. Young Master Xiao, this seems to be a late-stage star venerate ferocious beast. This is a black profound tortoise with the bloodline of the black tortoise. Elder Tang, who was rather familiar with the ash-gray sea, marveled at the tortoise beast, finding it incredible. It has the bloodline of the black tortoise? No wonder it is so hard to deal with. Xiaochen revealed an expression of understanding, immediately making Elder Tang feel embarrassed. It is just that it is somewhat hard to deal with. It is already very heaven-defying that no one died. Xiao Suo giggled and said, Captain, this is a great harvest. The shell of this black profound tortoise is a rare, top-notch material. It is excellent in forging armor and refining Dao tools. This was indeed a great harvest. The immemorial demon soul formation took 1 hour to consume this black profound tortoise until only a bare tortoise shell remained. As a war trophy, the tortoise shell entered Xiao Chen's universe ring, occupying a large space. I'll be in closed-door cultivation for a few days. I'll leave the ship's matters to you, Xiao Chen said to Xiao Suo before entering the captain's quarters to cultivate. Xiao Chen had successfully cleared his tribulation and comprehended the Thunder Great Tao. It had to be said that today was indeed a great harvest for Xiao Chen. The Purple Thunder Divine Incantation was about to reach consummation. Xiao Chen was filled with anticipation as to what would happen after the 12th layer be like. The cultivation technique that the Sky Dome Immortal Lord left behind should contain some secrets. Very few people could be like Xiao Chen, starting from the weakest cultivator and never changing their main cultivation technique. More accurately, there was no such thing. Xiao Chen could not possibly not change his cultivation technique. Otherwise, if the cultivation technique could not keep up with his cultivation, it would definitely hinder his cultivation. It was just like the Ice Feather Divine Incantation. At most, he could cultivate it to the sovereign stage before he had to change it. I hope that I can understand some of your intentions, Xiao Chen muttered to himself. Aside from the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation, what made Xiao Chen happier was naturally his comprehension of the Thunder Great Tao. Even the outstanding talents of the Central Great Realm, even if their cultivations were much higher than Xiao Chen's, few could reach his level. At his age, Xiao Chen already comprehended 2 Great Tao. Being able to comprehend one type of Great Tao energy was already an incredible thing, let alone 2 types of Great Tao. Xiao Chen closed his eyes and cultivated. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. Xiao Chen's cultivation stabilized. His physical body had absorbed the tribulation lightning, improving further. He finally gained some control over the Thunder Great Tao and could use it freely. He could merge the Saber Tao and the Thunder Tao even more smoothly, moving them as he pleased. Now, his overall strength had more than doubled compared to before the tribulation. After leaving the captain's quarters, Xiao Chen went to find Elder Tang. Young Master Zhao's strength is becoming increasingly unfathomable. As Elder Tang looked at Xiao Chen, who comprehended 2 Great Tao, he felt even more awe and unfathomable. In just a few days, Xiao Chen's improvement in strength was truly flabbergasting. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and said, "It's just a matter of time. Elder Tang, how is your beast-taming art?" At the mention of this, Elder Tang revealed a confident expression. "I placed a soul mark on the ferocious beasts in the Spirit Beast platform. Now, I am 90% confident of placing a soul mark on that demon blood vulture. It was best to root out this hidden danger as soon as possible. No one knew when the demon blood vulture's demonic nature would erupt and turn on its master. No one would feel at ease with such a ticking time bomb." When the two arrived outside the Spirit Beast platform, the demon blood vulture lay lazily at the side. The other ferocious beasts like the cold steel eagles maintained a respectful distance, not daring to get close. The demon blood vulture was like a little tyrant, ruling over the Spirit Beast platform. When the demon blood vulture felt Xiao Chen's and Elder Tang's gazes, it suddenly opened its eyes. A sharp light flashed in them, sending a chill through Elder Tang's heart. What a strong evil aura! Elder Tang felt shocked in his heart. To think that this demon blood vulture is still very wild. The demon blood vulture does not have any docile aura, which is rather surprising. Xiao Chen had been feeding the demon blood vulture for some time already. He had used both kindness and severity, but there was no effect at all. For some reason, Xiao Chen felt that Elder Tang's process of placing a soul mark might not go smoothly. The demon blood vulture before him was somewhat extraordinary. Chapter 1786. Might and pressure continuously spread out from that finger, inspiring fear in the demon blood vulture. A vast sea chart lay on the table in the middle of the group. Shouldn't the demon blood vulture be completely tamed after the soul mark was planted? Why was the situation the other way around? When the others saw the mark on Elder Tang's forehead, they could not hide their smiles. Enslaving the demon blood vulture ended up being enslaved by the demon blood vulture. This was simply hilarious. When the demon blood vulture finished swallowing the blood mist, it revealed a ferocious look in its eyes. It roared ferociously and spread its wings, flying out of the spirit beast platform and launching itself at Xiaochen. Xiaochen could only see a blurry light moving about. Then, a mysterious mark appeared in Elder Tang's eyes. Bang! In the time it took for a spark to fly, Elder Tang swung his saber. A saber light flashed and electric light spread out, illuminating the surroundings. The demon blood vulture raised its head and looked arrogantly at Xiaochen, its eyes filled with mockery. The demon blood vulture spread its wings and immediately kicked up a strong wind. Its feathers glowed. The demon blood vulture fell to the ground. Only now did the demon blood vulture truly bring out the horrifying might of a Dao tool. When Xiaochen thrust his finger, it became resplendent and dazzling, spinning continuously. It was like the demon blood vulture had become Elder Tang's master. After a series of moves, the demon blood vulture felt extreme pain, enduring immense pressure. Xiaochen had two choices before him. One was to kill the demon blood vulture, and the other was to keep it like this. The demon blood vulture watched in resentment as Xiaochen left. Its eyes filled with dissatisfaction and some hidden fear. Then, it activated the tyrant saber, and its thunder Dao might instantly soared. When Xiaochen saw the situation, he quickly helped Elder Tang up. If not for that terrifying demonic chi and how strange it was, the demon blood vulture would really look like a divine bird. As long as Xiaochen was strong enough, he could suppress this demon blood vulture and not fear it playing any tricks. Ah! With a weak expression, Elder Tang staggered and rushed back in a fluster. 3 days later, the pirate hall that Xiao Sua mentioned appeared before everyone. Now, he could clearly feel a dangerous aura. He saw Elder Tang's palm getting closer and closer to him. At this moment, Elder Tang's soul mark entered the demon blood vulture's mind. Xiaochen, on the other hand, knew what it was up to. He was completely disdainful and couldn't be bothered to deal with it. Xiao Sua pointed to the sea map and said, "Based on the fastest route, it will take 2 months. Of course, that is on the premise that no accidents occur." The two leaped up and arrived before the demon blood vulture. "Xiao Sua, how long will it take for us to reach the Myriad Star Mountain?" Elder Tang had a depressed look on his face, but the soul mark on his forehead had faded significantly. It stared at Xiaochen with a fiery gaze. It sensed the aura of the blood mist, the mysterious blood mist that could increase its demonic nature. Elder Tang was drenched in sweat and panting heavily. Xiaochen landed beside him and asked, "Is it done?" It was clear that it wasn't that easy to subdue him. However, as soon as it flew out from the spiritual beast platform, it was struck down by a saber glow. Naturally, Xiaochen would not let that happen. A Dao disc appeared behind him. That was the power of the great Dao of the Saber Dao. Xiaochen's figure flashed, and he gently landed on the demon blood vulture's back, preparing to suppress it at any moment. Most of the sea map was shrouded in fog, labeled as unknown regions. This was a sign that the demon blood vulture was about to erupt. The scarlet feathers on the demon blood vulture's body turned increasingly beautiful. Eventually, they flickered with light, looking incredibly gorgeous. Xiaochen was confident of this. The demon blood vulture looked at Xiaochen without any fear in its eyes. It was still as unruly as before. Its feathers slowly turned more beautiful, looking like flames that would bloom at any moment. The Iron Hand Yama said, "The Ash Gray Sea's Pirate Hall is a gathering place for all sorts of people. It is even more chaotic than the Grave Sea. I hope we do not run into any trouble." Elder Tang touched the soul mark on his forehead and paled in shock. Then, he raised his head to look at the demon blood vulture with a horrified expression. After suffering a heavy blow, the demon blood vulture flew back in a sorry state. Electric light flickered all over its body as it lay sprawled on the ground, wailing miserably. The demon blood vulture had felt that something was off in the first place. It had wanted to resist long ago. However, Xiaochen was above it, preventing it from doing so. Clearly, the demon blood vulture was greatly startled and did not dare to remain here. The demon blood vulture happily opened its beak and sucked in this scarlet light, not standing on ceremony at all. Xiaochen had always been rather decisive, so he quickly made up his mind. He discovered that Elder Tang's hand seals became increasingly complicated. Eventually, even Xiaochen could not make them out clearly. 7 days later, the upper echelon of the Black Cutlass gathered in the captain's quarters. Xiaochen's expression suddenly changed. He looked at Elder Tang and asked, "Since when did a mark appear on your forehead?" The demon blood vulture suddenly raised its head and glared. Elder Tang stumbled and fell to his knees with a plop. The demon blood vulture released a terrifying aura from its body. It would not be a problem to bring out 80% or even 100% of its might. After a while, Xiaochen arrived before the immemorial demon soul formation. A scarlet fog spread out, even denser than the previous time. At the very least, it could keep him alert and allow him to improve. The pressure slowly weakened the demon blood vulture's aura. Finally, Xiaochen brought out his Buddhist might. Xiaochen looked at the demon blood vulture. After a while, he suddenly smiled and said, "Great, you are quite capable." Then he returned to the spirit beast platform. That was the uninhabited area of the ash-gray sea. Only some ancient clans or peak experts would have an accurate sea map of the uninhabited area. The demon blood vulture looked like it wanted to fight Xiaochen to the death, looking very scary. Xiaochen did not even need one move to kill Elder Tang. Then Xiao Suo pointed to the sea map and said, "There is a pirate hall here. We will go there to resupply 3 days later. At that time, we will also have to ask around for some information. We cannot just listen to Yen's side of the story about the myriad star mountain." Xiaochen stretched out his hand, and a scarlet fog shot out from his hand, turning into a dense scarlet light. "Let's begin then." This fellow actually directly broke through from middle stage star venerate to late stage star venerate. Elder Tang's heart pounded, but he still plucked up his courage and entered the spirit beast platform with Xiaochen. "Never mind, that's it." Elder Tang's 10 fingers flickered with flowing light, and his complexion slowly paled. Sweat dripped down his forehead. When Elder Tang heard Xiaochen's words, he nodded gently and started forming hand seals with both hands. "Young Master Xiao, my soul imprint was assimilated in its soul sea. I have to sever this connection. Otherwise, I will end up enslaved by it." That pirate hull looked like a gargantuan sea monster on the vast sea. Lingering black clouds covered it. This continued for 1 hour until the scarlet demonic fog was absorbed back to normal. Then, it returned to the surface of the formation before stopping. To the demon blood vulture, this was simply too tempting. However, in the next moment, the sharp demon blood vulture suddenly opened its eyes. Elder Tang nodded weakly and said, "It succeeded." The scarlet demonic fog that leaked out was startling. The demon blood vulture did not scare Xiaochen earlier. Now, it could not be bothered with him. It just closed its eyes and curled up lazily in a corner. "What's going on? I'll just keep it like this. Having a terrifying existence that constantly lashes at me is a pretty good thing." Then, Xiaochen drew the tyrant saber and merged the 2 great Dao energies, instantly bringing out 50% of the Dao tool's might. After several years of growth, Xiaochen became more experienced in handling matters. He now had the air of a captain. After swallowing the black profound tortoise, a third of the 6th pearl lit up. Its feathers are really tough. Even after being caught off guard, it did not bleed. Then, Xiaochen turned around and headed for the next level of the pirate ship. The demon blood vulture felt that Xiaochen, who stood on it, was even heavier than a mountain. Furthermore, it continued to grow heavier. Now that Xiaochen comprehended the Thunder Great Dao, he could easily bring out 50% of its might. If he did not suppress it, it would spread to the entire ship. Xiaochen entered deep thought. Then, he stretched out his hand and continuously sucked in the surrounding demonic qi. Xiao Chen looked at the demon blood vulture in the spirit beast platform and smiled faintly before drifting away. This demon blood vulture was more delicious than any ferocious beast that Xiao Chen had eaten in his life. Furthermore, it could increase his cultivation and strength, a great tonic. Xiao Chen simply could not bear to kill the demon blood vulture. In the past, Xiao Chen could bring out only 20% of the tyrant saber's might. Even if Xiao Chen's luck was off the charts and he did not run into any pirate ships or demonic Dao sect cultivators, he would still run into some bad weather at sea. Then, another Dao disc appeared. That was the Thunder Great Dao energy. It would be hard to avoid accidents in the ash-gray sea. Just the strength of a late-stage star venerate would be of great help to Xiao Chen. Furthermore, this fellow had limitless potential. After entering the seemingly small spirit beast platform, Xiao Chen discovered that there was a whole world inside. Countless scenes expanded continuously. There was basically no hope for the last condition. Elder Tang shouted, and his aura suddenly soared. Chapter 1787. The Black Cutlass successfully entered the pirate hall, and Xiao Chen and the others split up. Xiao Chen led the Iron Hand Yama and Xiao Suo to deal with the materials they collected from hunting ferocious beasts in the ash-gray sea. Naturally, the most valuable of them all was the black tortoise's hill-sized shell. Elder Tang brought Luo Nan, Feng, and the pirate ship to repair and resupply. So many demonic Dao martial artists. The pirate hall was a city. Walking in it was not much different from walking in an ordinary city. When looking around, most of them were demonic Dao cultivators. This was a rare sight in the Grave Sea and other places. The Iron Hand Yama explained, I heard that many years ago, the righteous Dao sects and the demonic Dao sects had a huge battle. After the demonic Dao was defeated, many sects were forced to give up on their interests in the central Great Realm. They retreated to the taboo seas and started from scratch. Only some extremely powerful demonic Dao sects remained in the central Great Realm. Although this taboo ocean is filled with spiritual energy and there are many places of opportunity, there are still many of them. However, the environment was vile, and the spiritual chi in the Forbidden Sea contained a trace of demonic nature. Righteous sects rarely set up their foundations in the Forbidden Seas. Xiao Chen revealed an expression of understanding. No wonder he had met so few demonic Dao cultivators. Even if he did encounter them, their cultivation would not be much, and they would not catch his eye. Looking at the ash-gray sea's pirate hall, it was hard to see any one of the righteous Dao. They were either pirates or cultivators of the demonic Dao sections. Furthermore, most pirates cultivated demonic cultivation techniques and baleful auras. They were no different from demonic Dao cultivators. No wonder this pirate hall looked gloomy from afar, giving off an uncomfortable feeling. Xiao Suo looked at Xiao Chen and asked, Big brother, are we going to the market square or the shop? Selling in the market was convenient and free. If he could meet someone who was in urgent need, he could get a very high price. On the other hand, the shop was more straightforward. It only took a moment for the transaction to be completed. However, the price was not up to him to decide. Let's go to a shop. Xiao Chen quickly made his decision. The pirate hall was rather chaotic, and there might be some accidents in the market. Soon, the few of them found out that there were 3 large shops in the pirate hall that purchased materials. He casually walked into one of them. Illusory Cloud Pavilion. Esteemed guests, are you here to purchase Dao tools? The servant at the door immediately welcomed them with a smile. The profound Cloud Pavilion possessed the ability to refine Dao tools. Hence, it had a high demand for materials like the black profound tortoise's shell. When the manservant saw Xiao Chen and the other two, he thought that they were here to purchase Dao tools. No, we are selling materials. Do you accept them here? The manservant's expression changed slightly. However, he still smiled and said, Yes, of course. No matter what kind of material it is, it can be sold for an ideal price in the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion. Our illusory Cloud Pavilion has always been fair and honest when doing business. What are you selling? The servant asked eagerly as he led Xiao Chen and the others inside. The shell of the black profound tortoise, and the bones and blood essence of some other fierce beasts. Black profound tortoise. At the mention of the black profound tortoise, the manservant's eyes lit up. He asked somewhat excitedly, "How old is it?" "More than 1,000 years. Distinguished guests, please come in." Upon hearing that it was more than 1,000 years, the manservant immediately rejoiced, even changing the way he addressed them to distinguished guests. Then, the manservant led Xiao Chen and the other two into the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion's VIP room. "Please wait for a while." After watching the manservant leave, Xiao Suo could not help saying, "How exaggerated. Although this black profound tortoise is precious, it does not seem to be worth so much attention." The Iron Hand Yama said casually, "It is probably one of the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion's distinguished guests who urgently need a black profound tortoise to refine a Dao tool. I heard that this kind of tortoise beast spends most of the year in hibernation. There is no aura at all, like it is dead. It is very hard to find." Xiao Chen smiled as he sipped his tea. "Let's just wait and see. Senior brother O, someone is selling the black profound tortoise that you specified." After the manservant left the VIP room, he went directly to a VIP room in the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion and spoke to a handsome black-clad youth with a somewhat sinister air. When the youth heard that, he revealed a shocked expression. He could not hide the fervor in his eyes. "How old is it?" The other party said more than 1,000 years. "Good. Ha! With this 1,000-year-old black profound tortoise shell, I can finally succeed in refining my essence magnet treasure armor." The youth entered a state of wild joy and excitement. He stood up and muttered to himself, "With this essence magnet treasure armor, I am even more confident of my trip to the Myriad Star Mountain. He is coming. I'll go and meet him personally." The manservant quickly led this black-clad youth to the VIP room where Xiao Chen was. The black-clad youth pushed open the door and entered. Then he swept his gaze across Xiao Chen and the other two, immediately gaining a good understanding of their cultivations. Then, the black-clad youth fixed his gaze on Xiao Chen. He could tell that this white-clad youth, who was only a major primal core venerate, was the leader of the group. "Young master, how should I address you?" "I am O Jinyun, the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion's young master." The black-clad youth greeted Xiao Chen before taking a seat. "Xiao Chen." O Jinyun did not bother with any nonsense. He could not be bothered with Xiao Chen's origins, so he went straight to the point. "Take out the black profound tortoise shell and let me take a look." Xiao Chen looked at the VIP room and said, "This place is so small. How am I supposed to take it out?" O Jinyun smiled and said, "That's true. Come with me." After saying that, O Jinyun clapped his hands, and the walls of the VIP room spun, revealing a door. He was the first to enter. Xiao Chen and the others followed behind O Jinyun. After entering, they discovered a completely different world. This was an independent space, vast and boundless. "This place is big enough, right?" Xiao Chen did not answer. He opened his hand and took out the huge black profound tortoise shell. In an instant, it was as if a mountain had appeared in front of them. This startled O Jinyun. He exclaimed excitedly, This is a 5,000-year-old black profound tortoise. It must have comprehended the water great Tao, right?" Somewhat surprised, Xiao Chen nodded and said, "It is indeed as young Master O said. That black profound tortoise did comprehend the water great Tao. 5,000 years is a hurdle. After crossing this hurdle and comprehending the water great Tao, the value of the black profound tortoise shell will be different." At this moment, O Jinyun appeared rather calm, not exposing his emotions to Xiao Chen and the others. O Jinyun continued, "The tortoise shell contains Tao. After refining it into treasure armor, its defensive power will be even more astonishing. Furthermore, it can help Master comprehend the water great Tao, calming his mind. To us demonic Tao cultivators, this is very rare." After Xiao Suo heard that, he could not help rejoicing in his heart. They had come to the right place. O Jinyun looked at Xiao Chen and asked, "I'm rather curious. How did you kill this black profound tortoise?" "I can't tell you." Naturally, Xiao Chen would not foolishly tell O Jinyun. O Jinyun was slightly stunned. Then he smiled and said, Sorry for being rude. Let's do this. I want the black profound tortoise shell. Xiaochen asked, Young Master O, are you going to refine the black profound tortoise shell into treasure armor? That's right. I want to refine it into the essence magnet treasure armor. I will give you a fair and reasonable price, 2 million medial grade spirit jades. The moment O Jinyun said that, Xiaochen's expression changed slightly. That was the price of an ordinary black profound tortoise shell. The black profound tortoise shell that Xiaochen wanted to sell would at least double this price. Let's go. Xiaochen put away the black profound tortoise and led the Iron Hand Yama and Xiao Sua away. O Jinyun said helplessly, Did I finish? I even added in an inferior grade Dao tool, which I personally bought. I spent most of my spirit jades on the other materials, so I only have 2 million medial grade spirit jades left. However, I can still make some decisions here. I have the authority to sell an inferior grade Dao tool. O Jinyun had not expected the black profound tortoise shell that Xiaochen took out to be of such high quality. Otherwise, 2 million medial grade spirit jades would have been more than enough to purchase a black profound tortoise shell. Hence, O Jinyun could only bleed profusely and let the other party choose an inferior grade Dao tool. An inferior grade Dao tool was about 2 or 3 million medial grade spirit jades. This was a fair deal. Xiaochen thought to himself. Then he looked at the Iron Hand Yama and said, You happen to be in need of a weapon. It's settled. O Jinyun smiled and said, Go to the second floor. Someone will take care of you. After Xiaochen and the Iron Hand Yama left, O Jinyun's expression immediately changed drastically. An incredibly sharp killing chi appeared in his eyes. After they leave, keep a close eye on them. Young master, we are doing business here. Wouldn't that be dishonest? The manservant said reluctantly as he looked at O Jinyun. O Jinyun smiled strangely and retorted, Do we of the demonic Tao need integrity? Chapter 1788. Big brother, this young Master O is really generous. We have profited greatly from this transaction. Xiao Sua appeared very excited. If it were someone else, if they were not in urgent need, the black profound turtle shell would only cost about 3 million medial grade spirit jades. 2 million medial grade spirit jades and an inferior grade Dao tool. What a surprise. The Iron Hand Yama frowned and said, This O Jinyun does not look like a businessman to me. He looks more like a sect disciple. The owners of such large shops are usually large sections. How can ordinary people bear the cost of refining Dao tools? Xiaochen nodded. Old Yama shares my opinion. From start to finish, this O Jinyun does not look like a businessman at all. After the transaction is over, let's leave quickly. But how could a regular businessman be like O Jinyun, not hiding his needs at all? Xiaochen's final expression also seemed somewhat off. When they arrived on the second floor, there was indeed someone attending to Xiaochen's group, saying that they had already received instructions. The three could choose any inferior grade Dao tool on the second floor. The Iron Hand Yama was rather interested. Although it was only an inferior grade Dao tool, it was still a Dao tool. The Iron Hand Yama's goal was clear. He needed a pair of gloves, preferably with the fire Dao. Xiaochen casually sized up the surroundings, occasionally taking down a Dao tool to study. In the end, he was somewhat disappointed. Even the medial grade Dao tools sold here were far inferior to the Tyrant Saber in his hand. The word tyrant caused the Tyrant Saber's quality to soar, directly advancing to peak superior grade Dao tool. The Dao tools here were all made with great effort. However, without exception, they could only be considered craftsmen. The blacksmiths were still far from Grandmaster level. As for great Grandmaster level martial sages, that went without saying. However, this was just because Xiaochen's standards were too high. To ordinary people, the Dao tools sold here were all high-quality goods. The profound cloud pavilion was famous in this vast sea region. The Dao tools sold here were limited in number and sold out practically every month. Even with spirit jades, they were hard to buy. The profound cloud pavilion sold at most 5 Dao tools every month. Many of the Dao tools were just decorations, not for sale. After all, the profound cloud pavilion could not refine Dao tools with just enough materials. It also needed time to nurture and form a great Dao. Unless there was an extremely strong expert who forcefully imprinted his own Dao aura on it. That would be quite damaging to one's mind and cultivation. Only large sects with many experts would have the capital to do so. Brother Xiaochen, I've made my choice. The Iron Hand Yama said as he walked over with an excited expression. Xiaochen glanced at the boxing gloves on his hands. The pure black boxing gloves looked quite heavy. Gauntlets were a special type of weapon to begin with. They were not mainstream weapons and were rather rare. It was a blessing to be able to find a pair of gloves that satisfied him. Xiaochen nodded and agreed to complete the transaction. While he was at it, he dealt with the other materials as well. After obtaining the spiritual jades, he immediately left. After returning to the Black Cutlass, the group met up with Luo Nan and the others. Then, they left the pirate hall in a hurry, not showing any reluctance to leave. Young master, I've inquired about their origins. It's a group of pirates. From the looks of it, it's their first time in the Ash-Gray Sea. That pirate group is only a 5-star pirate group. In the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion, the manservant honestly reported the information he obtained from following Xiaochen's group. When Zhou Jinyun heard that, he could not help laughing. A 5-star pirate group? I thought that he was a disciple of some sect and that there would be a major character traveling with him. It turns out The manservant smiled and asked, Young master, should we do it ourselves? Zhou Jinyun retorted disdainfully, Do I need to make a move personally for such minor characters? Gather some experts of our sect in the city. After they leave the pirate hall's protection, make a move. Inside the Black Cutlass, Xiaochen and the others still did not know that someone was targeting them. However, Xiaochen and the Iron Hand Yama felt that something was wrong, so they got the crew to remain vigilant and not let down their guard. Elder Tang looked at Xiaochen and said, According to the information we obtained, what Yenja said is true. There are indeed 3 rank 6 sects around the Myriad Star Mountain, all demonic Dao sections. They are the Fantasy Cloud Sect, the Blood Demon Palace, and the Heavenly Eagle Castle. Xiaochen and the Iron Hand Yama exchanged looks, shock flashing in their eyes. The Iron Hand Yama asked, What is the relationship between the Fantasy Cloud Sect and the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion? Elder Tang replied, The masters behind the 3 largest refining shops in the city are these 3 great demonic Dao sections. The 3 great demonic Dao sects have strong influence in the vicinity. This is the Starlight Sea region. Starlight Sea region. Because of the Myriad Star Mountain, the surrounding sea region was known as the Starlight Sea region. However, the Starlight Sea region was just the tip of the iceberg of the Ash-Gray Sea. Even so, this tip of the iceberg was much larger than the entire Grave Sea. Finding it strange, Elder Tang asked, Is there a problem? It's fine. Senior Tang, please continue. Right? The Myriad Star Mountain sounds like there is only one mountain. However, in reality, there are 100,000 mountain peaks connected to each other. It is vast and boundless. Over the years, pirates and demonic Dao cultivators come to the mountain to seek fortuitous encounters. There will always be people who gain something. Every half a year, 10,000 stars will appear on this 100,000 mountain peaks, illuminating the surroundings and creating a celestial phenomenon where night never falls. At this time, many strange mysterious phenomena will appear on the Myriad Star Mountain, triggering many fortuitous encounters. At this time, the 3 great sects will send their elders to lead teams deep in the mountains to seek fortuitous encounters. That was the general situation. Elder Tang thought for a while before continuing, After we pass this pirate hall, we will have to be extremely careful in the following sea regions. We will run into strong pirate groups nearly every day. The path after this is not easy to find. The tempers of pirates were strange and unpredictable. Who knew when a pirate ship would arrive and force them to stop for inspection so that they could plunder everything? Just as Xiaochen's group discussed countermeasures for the path after this, sonic booms came from behind. Closely following that, A 300-meter-long black ship with the skin of an oceanic ferocious beast hung on it appeared. It pressed down amid berserk demonic chi. That black ship was a demonic Dao sect ship that rivaled a 6-star pirate ship. It was faster than the Black Cutlass, which was not traveling at full speed. However, it was very large. The Black Cutlass seemed insignificant before it. The scimitar ship in front, stop obediently. Otherwise, I will smash you to death. An arrogant and egotistical voice came from that black ship. Right after the voice spoke, a few wills of soul carrying the power of the world landed heavily on the Black Cutlass. The Iron Hand Yama's face sank. 4 early-stage star venerates and a middle-stage star venerate old man. They are somewhat difficult to deal with. Xiao Qin scanned the surroundings with his spiritual sense and discovered some other pirate ships nearby. If they fought here, they would expose themselves and attract a strong enemy. There's no need to stop. Continue forward. The immemorial demon soul formation activated, and a blood mist spread out, encasing the Black Cutlass. The Black Cutlass immediately turned strange. It was like a demonic ship moving at full speed on the vast sea. How dare you run? 50 kilometers away, a skinny old man stood at the bow of the ship. This old man's star venerate will sense the Black Cutlass moving far away. He revealed a mocking expression. Yang Fan, raise the flag and give chase. The old man shouted, and the beast's skin on the surface of the black ship was removed, revealing its true appearance. The carvings and symbols on both sides of the ship looked familiar. With one look, it was clear that this was the Fantasy Cloud Sect's ship. After removing the disguise, the old man hung up the 2 spare black sails of the ship. Then, he raised the Fantasy Cloud Sect's flag. Demonic chi immediately soared from the entire ship. It seemed to be floating on the sea as it advanced at a ghostly speed. Originally, the demonic Dao wanted to hide its identity. Now that the Black Cutlass was about to flee, the ship no longer had any intention of doing so. The demonic Dao sects were not used to doing things in secret. Such a grand display suited their tastes. Young Master Xiao, that is the Fantasy Cloud sect's ship. After the ship removed its disguise, Elder Tang immediately recognized it, making him feel somewhat nervous. Xiao Chen's expression did not change. He understood that O Jinyun had sent people to kill their way. Indeed, they were demonic Dao sects, going back on their word and killing others to snatch their treasures. They did not feel embarrassed at all. The moment they left the vicinity of the pirate hall, they ran over impatiently. Xiao Chen's spiritual sense could see very far away on the sea. He discovered that there were always other pirate ships in the surroundings. He could not find a suitable place to fight. While Xiao Chen hesitated, the Fantasy Cloud sect's demonic ship finally blocked the Black Cutlass's path. Big brother, what should we do? Xiao Sua's voice came from the control room, sounding somewhat anxious and flustered. Just the name of a rank 6 sect was enough to scare people to death. The firepower, performance, and every other aspect of this ship suppressed the Black Cutlass. There were also 4 star venerates, and one of them was a middle-stage star venerate. No matter how Xiao Chen looked at it, this would not be easy to deal with. This is indeed somewhat difficult. Xiao Chen muttered to himself as he looked at the black demonic ship in front from the crow's nest. However, he did not panic. Board the ship and kill them all. 2 early-stage star venerate experts led a group of demonic ship cultivators towards the Black Cutlass. Chapter 1789. It looked like the skinny old man wanted to end the battle quickly. The moment he made his move, he sent 2 early-stage star venerate old men to rob the ship. Block them. Xiao Chen ordered indifferently with a cold expression. Elder Tang roared, and many dormant ferocious beasts flew out of the spirit beast platform. Elder Tang stood on a cold steel eagle. Then he stood on a cold steel eagle and controlled the many spirit beasts to hold back an early-stage star venerate old man. The Iron Hand Yama smiled coldly and put on his gloves. A terrifying killing intent burst out of his body as he clashed with the other early-stage star venerate old man. One of the 2 fought with numbers, while the other punched the enemy. They moved widely, displaying extraordinary strength. Right from the start, the Iron Hand Yama held the upper hand, catching the two early-stage Star Venerate old men off guard. The moment the remaining demonic demon ship cultivators appeared on the deck, they suffered the terrifying attacks of the Archer Towers. The moment the various Archer Towers and formations that rivaled six-star pirate ships activated, the demonic demon ship cultivators cried out miserably. This was a one-sided massacre. The scene surpassed the skinny old man's imagination, startling him. Originally, according to the information, this Black Cutlass only had one Star Venerate. The people that the skinny old man brought were more than enough to kill the other party. However, the situation was now the other way around. Go and help. The skinny old man instructed the other early-stage Star Venerate old man beside him. His expression slowly turned grave. The skinny old man swept his gaze around and looked at the still calm Xiao Chen on the watchtower. For some reason he felt excited. As long as the skinny old man took down this person, he could quickly end this chaotic situation. The skinny old man held a ghost pennant in his hand. The black cloth hanging from the tip of the pennant gave off a strange black light. Is he going to attack me? Xiao Chen thought when he felt this old man's gaze. However, this was exactly what he wanted. Xiao Chen's figure flashed, and he soared into the air. Then he said coldly, "Old fogey, come out and fight." Xiao Chen really wanted to see for himself how capable a demonic Dao expert was. Sending yourself to death? As you wish. The skinny old man laughed strangely. Then he soared into the air while holding the ghost pennant, charging at Xiao Chen. Ghostly snake. With a wave of the ghost streamer in his hand, a cold wind blew, and an illusory black snake image flew out of the streamer. That gargantuan snake was like a soul, gently drifting over and charging to Xiao Chen's side. His speed was frighteningly fast. Before Xiao Chen could react, he had already arrived before him. Boom! The ghostly shadow snake brought with it a sinister wind, giving off deep sonic booms. It was like the roars of 10,000 ghosts as it surged towards Xiao Chen like a tsunami. Xiao Chen's soul immediately surged, and he felt dizzy and uncomfortable. The azure-colored dragon seal in Xiao Chen's soul pool flashed with light. His soul condensed, no longer affected by the sonic boom, and quickly returned to normal. However, the ghostly shadow snake had already arrived before Xiao Chen. It looked like it would swallow him whole. Saber! Xiao Chen drew the tyrant saber in the time it took for a spark to fly. A flash of electric light flashed in the sky. Xiao Chen ruthlessly chopped the ghostly shadow snake in half, feeling extremely alarmed. Xiao Chen nearly fell for it. However, that skinny old man was even more shocked. This ghostly shadow snake of his was a killing move that could instantly kill an early-stage Star Venerate. To think that Xiao Chen broke it with one saber strike. The skinny old man pointed the ghost streamer to the sky, and a dense black fog immediately spread out, wanting to encase Xiao Chen. That pitch-black space was so dark that one could not see one's fingers, like a deep abyss. Xiao Chen's face sank. Electric light burst out of his feet as he frantically moved back. After the lightning tribulation, Xiao Chen's comprehension of the Thunder Dao had deepened further. Xiao Chen could move a short distance and execute the Thunder Dragon steps that he practiced in the past, reaching a speed close to teleportation. The electric light under Xiao Chen's feet quickly formed two lightning dragons, carrying Xiao Chen as he retreated. The skinny old man laughed strangely, and the black fog continued to spread out, pressing closely on Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen moved even faster, continuously circulating his Thunder Dao. The lightning dragons under Xiao Chen's feet turned from an initial image to solid. Surging thunderclouds appeared in the sky with Xiao Chen as the center, encasing dozens of kilometers around. The black fog's range was even vaster. The cultivators on the two ships, who were fighting intensely, quickly moved away. After they returned to their ships, they quickly turned around and left, not daring to get close to where the two were fighting. Pa! Suddenly, a snake image came out of the black fog. It swung its tail and struck Xiao Chen, sending him flying. Actually, a country bumpkin like you can understand the means of a demonic Dao sect. The means of my fantasy cloud pavilion are ever-changing. Brat die. The black fog covering the surrounding 50 kilometers suddenly turned into a terrifying ferocious beast head. This ferocious beast looked like the Yazi beast demon soul. It gave off a terrifying aura that was hard to distinguish between real and fake. The huge beast head charged straight at Xiaochen. Clumps of jade-green light flew out of the ghost streamer in the skinny old man's hand and entered the ferocious beast head, making the illusory ferocious beast head even more sinister and terrifying. This is no longer a simple illusion. It also involves the use of soul energy. Xiaochen brought out his divine dragon war body. His dragon bones and veins moved silently, and surging vital qi filled his entire body. Dragon might materialized on his body, protecting Xiaochen like a divine dragon armor. Bang! The huge ferocious beast head crashed into Xiaochen, producing a loud sound. The sky changed color, and waves surged. Even the clouds in the sky exploded. Xiaochen's qi and blood shook. However, with the strong defense and recovery of the divine dragon war body, his injuries were not obvious. The most important thing was that the azure-colored dragon seal in his soul pool was extremely compatible with the divine dragon armor formed by the dragon might. Xiaochen's soul was not affected at all. This prevented the greatest effect of this killing move from being unleashed. This fellow. No wonder young master said not to underestimate him. The skinny old man's face finally revealed a trace of seriousness. This move of his was a move that could directly destroy a person's soul. Unexpectedly, Xiaochen appeared fine. After 2 exchanges, Xiaochen gained a preliminary understanding of this old man. The killing moves of the Fantasy Cloud sect probably focused on such strange long-range attacks, attacking the soul and catching others off guard. Xiaochen was rather weak in close combat. Otherwise, that Zhou Jinyun would not have spent so much money to refine an essence magnet treasure armor. Split! The skinny old man shouted, and the ferocious beast head split into 3, turning into 3 10-kilometer-long ghostly shadow snakes that ferociously attacked Xiaochen. They bit, crashed, wrapped around, or interfered with demonic sounds. The 3 gigantic demonic shadow snakes occupied half the sky. All sorts of terrifying attacks made everyone feel a deep sense of fear. The accumulations of a rank 6 sect were truly startling. To think that a random middle-stage star venerate old man possessed such strength, far beyond the late-stage star venerates of those rank 5 sections. They were on completely different levels. The more Xiaochen fought, the more startled he became. If not for his strength improving, he would have lost in one exchange. Xiaochen brought out his Thunder Great Dao and Saber Great Dao to their limits. As he brandished his saber light, thick lightning bolts descended from the sky and danced chaotically with the saber light. Although the ghostly shadow snakes were ferocious, they found it hard to gain an advantage against Xiaochen's saber techniques. Amid the boundless electric light, Xiaochen was like an overlord overlooking the world, exuding a strong aura. Not wanting to continue fighting, Xiaochen roared ferociously and brought out 50% of the tyrant saber's might. Then he sent out 3 saber strikes. Electric light burst out, resplendent and dazzling, even more piercing than the sun. After the 3 saber strikes, the 3 ghostly shadow snakes all exploded into nothing, vanishing. The skinny old man showed a stunned expression. He had not expected Xiaochen to be able to bring out such a terrifying saber light. Taking advantage of the moment, the skinny old man spoke coldly. The 2 lightning dragons under Xiaochen's feet suddenly burst into flames, turning into clumps of electric light that spread throughout Xiaochen's body. In the next moment, Xiaochen appeared directly above the skinny old man. Xiaochen instantly executed the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber techniques, resolving the mundane. Demonic soul protection. This startled the skinny old man. Then he grasped the ghost pennant with both hands and shouted. Suddenly, the skinny old man's complexion turned incredibly pale. He instantly drained a large amount of his soul energy. The ghost pennant materialized a round shield with a ghostly face and blocked Xiaochen's sure kill, resolving the mundane. The skinny old man's resolving the mundane's eternal saber light knocked him back. Cracks appeared in the ghost pennant in his hand. Blood leaked out of a corner of the skinny old man's lips. He was severely injured but not fatally injured. Without infusing your will of soul into your killing move, you can't kill me, Junior. The skinny old man laughed maniacally. However, he no longer dared to continue fighting with Xiaoqun. Then he landed on the demonic ship and stood at the bow, grabbing the flag there with both hands and continuing to drain his soul energy. After a while, black fog spread out on the demonic ship. Then, it soared into the air and left at lightning speed. The skinny old man looked at the people on the black cutlass and shouted coldly, "All of you, just wait for the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion's boundless revenge." Xiaoqun landed on the black cutlass and sheathed his saber. Then, he looked coldly at the departing demonic ship. The accumulations of a large sect are indeed extraordinary. It will be difficult to keep this old fogey alive. The Iron Hand Yama shook his head slightly and sighed softly. That might not be the case. Xiaoqun said indifferently. 4 purple petals appeared in his right eye, spinning rapidly. Clouds moved in all directions in the sky. Then, 10 tribulation clouds gathered around the demonic ship. In the next moment, the many cultivators on the demonic ship showed horrified expressions as the 10 lightning tribulations merged together and struck down without any warning. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.